I'll tell you, the Las Vegas Thunder, that would be an outstanding first-round opponent for the Houston Aeros. The Aeros gained themselves a berth in the Western Conference as I bring in my broadcast partner, Barry Warner, due to a big win last night over the Indianapolis Ice, 5-4 in a shootout. And they're going to get some help. I mean, with the playoffs coming up, they get some help defensively, and it starts with Mark Laniel.
Well, one of the big reasons why Peter Dineen got Mark Laniel was his ability to help with the transition. He excels at making that breakout pass, something that has plagued the Aeros this year from their own zone.
And one guy that played very well last night for the Aeros was Scott McCrory. He played with the line of Freer and Arneal and actually played very well, picking up an assist in the hockey game. But the guy that got the job done, and it's really good to see him back, is Troy Gamble.
Yeah, healthy shoulder and all. Getting Gamble back, number one, was big, but number two, having him come up so huge in the shootout was a key from a confidence standpoint.
Time for the Oshman's Game Plan, brought to you by Oshman Super Sports USA. And tonight it's the playoff edition. We don't really know about winning the game tonight, but we'll take a look at the playoff edition.
Well, what they have to do is focus on the power play. Work on it, especially with a couple of new players. Number two, help on that breakout we talked about with a new defenseman. And number three, playoff intensity. Don't worry about the boxing gloves, but really finish every check and play every shift like the game depends on it.
How important was the win last night, Barry?
How does huge sound, Adam? Real huge.
Yeah, I think the Aeros want to keep themselves in the Western Conference, and that's what they got. A Western Conference berth starting next weekend. Up next to chat with the head coach of the Aeros, Terry Ruskowski. We'll be back with that right after this. Houston Aeros Hockey on Paramount 20 is sponsored by Southwest Airlines.
We're back here at the Peoria
Center with the head coach of the Houston Aeros, Terry Ruskowski. Roscoe, was last night's come-from-behind win a playoff-type victory for your team?
Well, sure, a confidence builder for us. We had trouble winning as of late and coming back and scoring that goal late in the third period, and we're actually winning in a shootout. It's kind of like sweet revenge with Indianapolis because, if I can remember right, they did the same thing to us back in Houston, so I'm pretty happy with that.
Terry, right before you left, the last practice that you had on Monday, you called the guys together and you accentuated one thing, mental toughness. Isn't that what they showed last night?
Mental preparation, mental toughness, physical being, playing smart, and don't give the opposition too many chances to score. And that's basically what we try to do tonight, too.
Okay, last night you came from behind twice. The other team scores a goal in a minute, and you answered. How important was the new kid, McCrory, in helping to gain a victory?
Well, the thing that I like about the whole situation is he got better as the game went on, and that's a positive. He started off slow. Second period, he did a lot better. The third period, he has a couple goal-scoring opportunities. That line ended up scoring the tying goal late in the third period, so it was a big advantage for us.
Terry, do you approach
tonight's game like it is a playoff battle?
We have approached the last 3 or 4 games that way. This team is very good defensively. We're going to have to really be sharp to score goals and make sure they don't get any opportunities to score against us.
Good luck. We'll see you on the bus afterwards.
All right, Bear. Thank you.
And we'll have more Aeros hockey live from the Peoria Civic Center after a brief timeout on United Paramount Network.
Unbelievable.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Peoria Civic Center. Adam Gordon along with Barry Warner, the Aeros and the Peoria Rivermen. Can you believe it? Game number 80 for the Houston Aeros tonight as they are very close to wrapping up the 1994-95 regular season. Let's take a look at the starting goaltenders first for the Houston Aeros. In goal, it'll be Troy Gamble. A record of 16, 17, and 5 at 3.34 goals against average. He is only 1 win shy of 100 for his career. And in goal for the Peoria Rivermen, Joff Sargent. He will start in the pipes for Peoria. And the Sargent's numbers, 2.99 goals against average, a record of 32, 11, and 8. Aeros defend the goal to our left. The Rivermen the goal to our right. And we are set to go. Dropping the puck, and we're underway from Peoria. Here is Rob Robinson now for the Aeros. Steers one up for Arneal. It's knocked back to the Peoria blue line. And back is Martin Hammerlick in his own zone for check by McCrory. Drifting back behind the net, a pass to the near side, and here's Rennie Chapdelaine. Pass center ice for Doug Evans, ripped it into the Aeros zone, missed Paslowski with a pass, and back is Robinson. Robinson chipped the puck along the boards. In there is Doug Evans. He's belted along the boards. Now it's picked up in there in the corner. Steve Potvin. He takes a bump from Robinson, who, of course, won a Turner Cup with the Peoria Rivermen in the, I believe it was the 91 season, as the puck goes down the ice. And the Sargent out of the net. Geoff Sargent. He spells it Jeff. G-E-O-F-F. Spelled Jeff, but he pronounces it Geoff Sargent. Pass to the near side. Here come the Rivermen right to left. Doug Evans, team captain for Peoria. Work the puck to the right side, and here's Rennie Chapdelaine. Shoots the puck into the Aeros zone. Gamble out of the net to slow, and now it is Ted Crowley. 1 minute gone in the first, no score. Here is Crowley. A pass picked up Valamon. Rolls one into the Peoria zone. It'll go behind the net. First one back to play, and it's Terry Hollinger icing the call in play. Is whistled down. Terry Hollinger is one of the co-captains for the Peoria Rivermen, and Terry Hollinger, a big rangy defenseman. And speaking of Terry, from one to another we go. Head coach Terry Ruskowski behind the bench. He is primed and ready for the playoffs, and he's got his troops ready to go. In fact, Dave Tippett is on the bench with him tonight to give him the night off. And a face-off in the Peoria zone to the left of Troy Gamble. Mike Maurice will be out there with Todd Harkins and Graham Townsend. There's a guy, Barry, that you just love to see get red hot for the playoffs.
Well, he has been throwing his body around about the last 6 weeks, Adam, doing all the little things that you need from a guy that may not show up in the stats.
Puck is in the Aeros zone. Here's Terry Hollinger for Peoria, left side. Rolled the puck down, worked away by Harkins. It came back to the line. And here's Vitaly Prokhorov. This will be a tough one all night. Prokhorov, he'll flip the puck along the boards. And now we're going to get a whistle on our first penalty tonight. It's going to be to the Aeros for tripping. And they'll, let's see, who will it be? I think it's going to be Carl Valamont that will go. And the Rivermen now will go on the power play.
And if there's one place where this team excels, it is on the power play. McLean does an excellent job of teaching that. One good thing, though, the Aeros are #2 in the IHL, killing 84.2% of all the power plays that they have been on. Meanwhile, this is #7 in the league at 19.5, and Darren Veach, no doubt, will be one of the guys out there. But you've got to watch #5, the former NHL star.
And we're ready to face off now as the Aeros take it and shoot it down the ice. Well, I'm trying to see. We've got a player out there with a sweater and a number that I was not given on my roster. I'm going to have to figure out who this is.
19 Johnson.
Yeah, I don't know who it is. It's not on my roster. Puck is worked ahead. Thanks a lot, Peoria. I have no idea who this is. It's a nobody. You try to learn the roster. Nobody told me who it is. Here, I do know this is Vitaly Prokhorov across the line. Prokhorov flipped it along the left side. It's cleared to the line, not out. Held in, back to the line. Hollinger rolled along the right side. Now, back to the left side. Hollinger at a point. Playing keep away as Darren Veach has it. Rolled it down. Here is Terry Hollinger. He's got the mystery guy Johnson in front. Now it's down the left side. This is pure embarrassment, to be honest with you. Now it's Mark Laniel trying to clear it. Laniel got it at the line, not out. Here's the puck to the line, and it's intercepted in a shot, tipped wide and up and out of play. And Barry Warner and his fleet of foot's got it all figured out.
Yeah, the mystery one is just came in on the shuttle from St. Louis all year long. And there's been a big controversy in the front page of the Peoria paper on how St. Louis has really shafted him. But Johnson, 6'2", 197 from St. Paul, Minnesota, University of Minnesota, played in the '94 U.S. national and Olympic team, has been with the Blues for part of the year.
He's so good, they decided not to put him on the roster. So Craig Johnson is his name, and at least now I know who he is. I had no idea who. They didn't give me a roster or anything on him. My apologies to you.
But we got 4 others we're going to surprise you with, Ed.
No, that's quite all right. Face off to the left of Troy Gamble. Puck controlled by Ted Crowley. Ripped the puck along the boards. It goes back into the Peoria zone. Geoff Sargent comes out of the net. Sargent now tips it for Hollinger, and here come the Peoria Rivermen with 55 on the power play. Down the right or left side, Ron Hoover across the line with Tomlinson, who shot in a right pass save made by Gamble. Now the puck trickles long left side. Arneal can't clear, held in a centering pass that's tipped wide. Now Ed Courtney will play it, and we're going to get another penalty, high sticking call, and I think, is it Darren Veach? Yeah. I think Veach is going to go off with 41 seconds remaining on the power play.
Yeah, Darren knew exactly what happened there as he got Scott Arneal above the left eyebrow. Brandon's dad going over, and Jerry Mines will check him out. But, you know, Darren said, hey, I'm sorry, guy. You got in the way of my 3-iron. He's one of the great golfers. In fact, there was he won for several years the NHL golfing tournament every year that the Players Association has, and there was some talk of him going out on the Canadian tour when he got done, but at age 35 he still wants to play.
Now the Rivermen make line change here as they're going to bring out Vitaly Prokhorov. And who else are they going to bring out for his? It's going to be Craig Johnson. Defensively, Mike Dagenet and Jeff Batters. The Aeros bring out Scott McCrory with Vadim Slivchenko, Robinson, and Jakes defensively. Off the face-off now. The Aeros have it in their own zone. We're 4-on-4 for half a minute. Vadim Slivchenko now turning along the right side. Slivchenko moves it up the right wing boards. Slivchenko at center, weaving through traffic. Now to regroup and neutralize. He sat out last night in Indianapolis, and I tell you, the message has got to be sent. This guy hasn't scored a point in his last, I think, 8 games. They need his offense for the playoffs, but it has been not evident. Now the puck picked up by the Rivermen. They'll move it from right to left. Here is Dagenet. Roped it ahead for Craig Johnson. Aeros will be on the power play in 5 seconds. Down the right side. Here is Jeff Batters. Shoots the puck into the zone. Gamble stopped behind the cage. And now it is Steve Jakes. He'll wind it up and out of his zone. Jakes charging through center. Jakes across the line as the Aeros now on the power play. Give it to Conroy. Conroy with a puck. Rolled it over. Maurice right in on goal. Fan of the shot. Another drive blocked in front. Aeros turn. Can't get the shot away. Now it's Glenn Mulvena. Put the puck to center ice. Prokhorov across the line. Prokhorov jammed it down low, but Mark Laniel is there. Here comes Laniel. Skates the puck to the right side. He quickly gets rid of that puck, which is exactly the Aeros are looking for. Back into the Peoria zone. Rennie Chapdelaine along the boards. Laniel pinching left side, trying to work it down. It's popped away by Martin Hammerlick and cleared to center. Power play down to 40 seconds. 15:55 to play in this first period. No score. We're coming to you live from the Peoria Civic Center. Now the Rivermen, they'll turn and shoot the puck down the ice. Half a minute to go on the power play. Still no score. Puck is in the Aero zone, and here is Ted Crowley back behind the net. Crowley, he'll jam the puck ahead. Here come the Aeros. Freer skating at center. A pass. Arneal shoots, deflected, and then Sargent will cover up and he'll hold on.
On this power play, the Aeros started out with an excellent job as Jakes took the puck in, put the puck back on the stick of Conroy, who hit Maurice, and Maurice does everything great except he can't control the puck. And that was the best scoring opportunity that the Aeros did have. Excellent job, though. And you talked about Slivchenko. I'm going to tell you what my theory is on Slivy. He is so concerned about playing defense, especially in the Atlanta game a couple weeks ago when he was -2 and did a very poor job against Julia, that he's thinking defense, thinking I'm not going to make a mistake. And he's got to, you can't think, he's just got to react and play good solid defense and watch his winger teammates, and the offense will come.
Face off to the left of Joff Sargent. Freer, Arneal, and Townsend with Laniel and Crowley. Laniel the drive, that ricocheted wide of the net. Townsend in the corner, bumped by Dagenet. Puck cleared to the line. Laniel couldn't hold it in. The power plays down to 5 seconds. That'll do it as the puck down back behind Troy Gamble. No score in the hockey game, and now Veach back out on the ice. Here comes Ted Crowley from left to right for the Houston Aeros, charging up and out of his zone. Crowley weaving to the right side, rips the puck right on, and Sargent a save, and now it is Jeff Batters. Reverse the puck to the near side, overskated by Ron Hoover for the Rivermen, but he went back, got it, cleared it, out at center it goes. Valamont jammed it into the Peoria zone, back to get it Jeff Batters. He'll clear up the right side. Now it's Ed Courtney. Courtney to center. He's got Hoover busting into the zone. Nice pass. Hoover winds. He shoots. It's blocked by Valamont. Hoover center. Gamble will kick that out of there. And now it's Mike Yeo. He'll jump on a loose bucket. Steer to center for Chitteroni. A rewind pass blocked by Hoover. Puck chipped ahead. It goes up and out of play. And we'll take timeout. 14:36 to go in the first. No score. We're back after this.
What do you get when you fly the low-fare airline? Fun fares.
Well, you've waited so long for a fare to get so nice and low now. You really should fly.
Light up the night. Southwest Airlines' new fun fares are so low. Want to see that again? Now you can fly just for the fun of it.
Come along with us, 'cause we got a lot of things to do now. You really should fly. And you'll have fun, flying Southwest on a fun fair today. Fun, flying on a fun fair.
Introducing the Toyota T100 Extra Cab. Its new 190 horsepower V6 actually outperforms V8s. It's big and spacious, yet amazingly maneuverable. And it's extremely rugged, yet incredibly refined. The new T100 Extra Cab. It's the Toyota of big trucks.
Welcome back to the Peoria Civic Center. Action going on as it's shot down into the Aeros zone. Steve Jakes turns in his own end. Quick pass to center for Chitteroni. He'll turn on the left side and work it back into the Peoria zone. Foot check by Slipchenko. He plays peekaboo behind the cage and now works the puck to the right side. Here's Denny Felsner for Peoria. Cleared the puck out at center. It goes into the Aero zone. Jakes hustles back. He's pursued by Prokhorov. He'll jam it near side, and here comes Slipchenko. Lost the puck. Now Peoria turns back at center ice. Craig Johnson at his own blue line. Johnson for Prokhorov. A pass, Felsner tipped it back for Vitaly Prokhorov. Centered. Here's Johnson. Cuts it in. And it was Felsner that had it in front. And he couldn't get the shot away. And the Aeros have it. Here they come to center. It is Slipchenko wheeling it across the line with Maurice. Cuts to the net. Now Maurice. The shot. Blocked. Loose in front. And Felsner will come away. Now a pass goes wide. And it's whistled down on a two-line pass. And play is whistled down with 7 minutes gone in the first. No score.
Adam, we take a look at the Aeros turning up the intensity as we talked about the focus on the pregame. A nice drop pass there by Slivy, but as Mo goes to shoot it, it is blocked. And the guys in the white jerseys from Peoria, just a very fundamentally sound team. And they're a team right now that are playing awfully angry at the St. Louis Blues, their parent team. St. Louis is really, with Mike Keenan as general manager, has really used the old yo-yo of pulling guys back and forth, and they froze out. They traded their top offensive defenseman, Dan Lapierre, yesterday, and took 4 other guys off the playoff roster.
Now the puck chipped along the boards. Freer's got it down the left side, trying to cut in, shakes off a check, still with the puck. He's got Mulvena on his case in the corner to the right of Joff Sargent. Freer working hard along the boards. Arneal, quick shot, Sargent to save. He'll hold on and will take time out. 12:45 to go in the first. No score. We'll be back right after this.
Where do you go when you want to have fun?
I'm out on the course every chance I get.
I play soccer and Little League and basketball and football.
I go fishing with my grandson.
But first, we go to Oshman Super Sports.
Where I can try all the newest clubs right here in the store.
This store is bigger than Lake Travis.
One store has all the fun. Oshman Super Sports.
It's the Houston Rocket Countdown, cause the champs are on a roll. UPN 20's got your Rockets on the road. Houston, we have liftoff, so let's go, go, go!
The Rockets strike it rich against the Denver Nuggets. Live from McNichols Arena, Sunday at 5 on UPN 20.
NBA action with the Rockets on UPN 20, yeah.
The battle lines have been drawn and the enemy is near. Be there for our assault on the 1995 Turner Cup 7-game playoff packages are now available for less than $50. Enjoy the same seats throughout the playoffs and go to the top of the priority list for the 95 season tickets. 95-96 season tickets. For more information, call 627-AERO. Operators are on duty. 627-AERO. They are on duty as we speak as a shot comes in. Locked. You got to get on that phone and get your tickets, folks. They are going fast. Now the puck picked up by Peoria and shot down the ice. The Aeros go back. Here is Ted Crowley in behind the net. Crowley will turn and now move the puck from left to right. A pass along the right wing boards for Freer. Freer shoots it into the Peoria zone. Out of the net is Sargent. He'll slow, and Jeff Batters is back for the Rivermen, trying to advance the puck. In there, the puck centered, but knocked away by the Rivermen. Mulvena turns in his own zone. Mulvena weaving up and out of his zone, trying to find a pass, and it's intercepted by Crowley. Steers it up the left side for Freer, trying to find McCrory. Now jumped on by Valamon. He will wind, he will shoot. It was deflected, and Sargent, a glove save. Here come the Rivermen now. Jeff Batters skates to center. Batters in across the Aero blue line, trying to catch the Aeros in a line change, but the Aeros are back. Here's forward Peoria Riverman Rob Robinson in his own zone. Tries to spin away from the check of Doug Evans. Cleared to the line, not out. Held in by Evans. Bats it into the far side. Jake shoulders his man and Finally, it is cleared to center ice. Here is Darren Veach for Peoria at his own blue line. Banked the puck ahead. That's whistled dead on a 2-line pass, and the face-off will be back in the Peoria zone with 11:33 to go in the first. No score.
I think Sargent has only one save, one real save where he's been tested. That was a glove save. His defense has done an excellent job of blocking shots. The wingers are doing a good job getting back there and helping on the checking. Clearly, although it may be a meaningless game, this is a very important game from a coaching standpoint because you've got to get that playoff intensity.
Well, they are next to Denver. They're the second best defensive team in the IHL. They have allowed only 239 goals. Denver, number 1, they've allowed only 228. And that's what wins you hockey games, defense and goaltending, and they've had it all year long, both Peoria and Denver. Puck in the Peoria zone. Here's Darren Veach, had the puck, stripped by Yo. Aeros turn. Conroy can't get the shot away, and shot by Yo is partially blocked. And now it is picked up by the Rivermen. Pozlowski, a pass for Hollinger. Trickles it into the Aeros zone as Jakes takes him hard along the boards. Down the corner, Conroy goes in there. And we're going to get a penalty, I think, on Rob Robinson as we get a whistle. And slashing coming up. Someone for the Aeros is going to go off, and I don't know if it's Robinson or is it Conroy. Let's see who it is. It's going to be a slash. It might be on Doug Evans. I thought I saw Robinson go in there, and the hand went right up when he played the puck. When Robinson played the puck, I heard the whistle, but I think it's going to be Doug Evans that goes off, and the Aeros are going to get their first crack on the power play. It took place right in the corner to the right side of Troy Gamble. Oh, yeah. Whoa. Pretty good two-hander by Doug Evans there.
On his former Rivermen teammate. Now let's see what Roscoe does on the power play. We said on our Ashman game plan, one of the things we wanted to focus as we came down the stretch for the playoffs, the power play. And number 26 for the Aeros, and that's Mark Laniel, out there playing the left point.
Face off at center ice. The Aeros have got Freer, Harkins, Arneal, Laniel, and Crowley on the line. And now in there to take the draw is Glenn Mulvetta. He wins the draw, and now Rennie Chapdelaine will head back for the Rivermen to play in his own zone. Chapdelaine banks it off the boards. It'll go down the ice into the Aeros zone. Gamble comes out to slow. First one there is Craig Johnson for Peoria, but the Aeros have got it. Crowley to Freer, turns in his own zone, and out is Scott Arneal. Arneal, who had a humongous game-tying goal last night at Indianapolis, steers to Laniel, but it's tipped away, and back down the ice it goes. 10.5 to go in the first. No score. A minute and a half remaining in the Doug Evans minor. Crowley works a puck to the right side. Freer pass for Arneal. He's belted along the boards by Martin Hammerlich. Harkins turns at center. Harkins trying to move across the line. He's got the puck left side. Freer moving in. He's belted, and the Rivermen can't clear. Laniel held at the left point for Crowley. Back Arneal. Now it is Laniel. The shot and a glove save made by Sargent. And he'll hold on. We're halfway through this first period. No score.
You know who Laniel reminds me of, just looking at him for a couple of shifts? Like number 6, Carl Valamont. Skates kind of the same way and plays the same type of a game.
Face-off will be in the circle to the right side of Trough Sargent. Conroy with Maurice and Slivchenko. Laniel and Crowley remain at the points.
I may change my mind about 4 more times when I see him, but I mean, at first glance, when I take a look at him, he reminds me a little bit of Carl Valamont, the way that he controls himself, and it has good ice vision.
Here is Conroy to take the draw against Ron Hoover. Drop of the puck, and the Aeros have it. Back to the line, it's Laniel, but he popped it right to a Riverman, and it's skated to center ice. Mike Dagenet shoots it ahead. That is knocked free by Laniel, and back into the Aeros zone it goes. Ted Crowley. Under a minute to go on the power play. Back to the right side. Here comes Slivchenko across the blue line. Cuts right in on goal. Slivchenko centered! Hit the post! Conroy cranked it right off the post. Wow! Now the puck to the near side. Crowley to the line. Slivchenko back to Crowley. He winds, fakes the shot. Now lets it fly. Sargent kicked it out of there. Crowley again jammed it down in the corner. Maurice to Slivchenko. Look at him dangle like a pair of fuzzy dice on a rear mirror to Crowley. It's centered, knocked away by Pozlowski, and here come the Rivermen to center. Pozlowski now will just drift back, and then shoot it down the ice. Power play down to 14 seconds. 9:14 to go in the first, and a scoreless hockey game from Peoria. Here come the Aeros down the left side. Robinson at it, popped away. Mulvetta Sliced it into the Aeros zone. Power play over. Teams at 5 aside. Still no score. Malgunas to the near boards. He's bumped by Hollinger. Now Mario Chitteroni, a quick pass. Out at center it goes, but the Rivermen are there trying to jam it ahead. Overskated by Craig Johnson, and here's Maurice. A pass, Chitteroni dropped it, Malgunas. He winds, shoots, and he flipped it wide of the net. Now Denny Felsner cleared to center. Here comes Mulvena now for the Peoria Rivermen. In across the blue line. Shoots, kicked away by Valamont. Into the corner, Mulvena trying to center. Valamont steers that free. Puck loose in the corner. Robinson skate to skate with his man. They go at it pretty good in the corner as Craig Johnson is there. We'll take a timeout. 8:25 to go in the first. No score. Back after this.
It's coming. To take cold. To take taste. To take smooth. To the extreme. Introducing Bud Ice. One ice that goes beyond the others. To take smooth. To the extreme. New Bud Ice.
Get ready for the Gallery Furniture Houston Women's Tennis Championships at the West Side Tennis Club, April 10th through the 16th. Highlighting this year's field is Steffi Graf in her Houston debut, 1995 Australian Open champion Mary Pierce, Mary Jo Fernandez, and Houstonian Zina Garrison-Jackson. Tickets for the tournament are available now at all Ticketmaster outlets or by calling the Houston Women's Tennis Championships at 713-953-1111.
On the power play, Vadim Slivchenko dangles the puck, goes a little bit wide, backhands it to Conroy. Great pass, and it just hits the post. He had Sergeant beat, but it hit the post, and that was the best scoring opportunity the Aeros have in this scoreless game with 8:25 to go in the first period.
Actually, I'll go ahead and take it a step further and say it's probably the best scoring opportunity we have seen by either hockey club at this point. Troy Gamble yet to really be tested. Face off to the left of Gamble in the Aeros zone. Harkins against Craig Johnson. Sticks down, drop of the puck. Aeros have it. Jakes turns behind the net, and he'll start the rush. Jakes forecheck by Johnson. Good work by Johnson. Forced the puck to Rob Robinson, though, and the Aeros turn left side. Robinson skates it out of his zone to center ice. Robinson still with the puck. Give it left side. Harkins across the line. Harkins that quick shot. Stopped by Sargent. Puck in front, and there was Sargent to cover up and hold on. On April 22nd, they'll put down their picket signs and pick up their Louisville Sluggers. The boys of summer are back as the Astros return to UPN 20. If you thought Bagwell was good before, see what he's like with a year's rest. The Astros play the Chicago Cubs May 2nd on UPN 20.
And the members of the Luis Gonzalez fan club. That means all the guys in the green sweaters, led by Dave Tippett, absolutely thrilled that Gonzo and his agent were able to work out a deal with Bob Watson and Tal Smith, and he'll remain as a Houston Astro.
Face off in the Peoria zone to the right side of Geoff Sargent. Harkins against Denny Felsner. Sticks down. Top of the block. Aeros win the draw. They've done pretty well in the face-off circle. Robinson a shot, and that just ricochets wide of the net. Harkins fighting for a loose puck. It's in skates. Townsend looped it in. Here's the shot. Sargent stop, rebound, score! Ben Townsend! Second goal in as many games. The Aeros jump out to a 1-0 lead.
A great job there, and Mike Yo may not get anything for this, but he did a good job of mucking and setting up some screens. Big Graham Townsend making his presence felt as the Aeros get on the board. Harkins tries to fight for it in between skates, and here comes Townsend. Nice backhand, and you see what he does. As Yo takes the shot, Townsend puts himself in a great position. So he comes down and makes the play with the pass and then finishes it off. And a big play there, too, because, as you said, Adam, if Graham Townsend can get some offense in with the rest of the way that he's been playing, he'll be a real big help for this club in the playoffs.
We're going to get another penalty now. Interference coming up. Scott Arneal complaining about something. And is he the one that's going to go? I think Arneal is going to go to the box for interference. And the Rivermen will get their second crack on the power play. Townsend from Yo. And the Aeros have have a 1-0 lead, but now we'll face another Rivermen power play.
Adam, I think it's huge to have Mike Yeo, who missed several games with about 103-degree fever, to get in the scoring column there. Granted, he missed the goal opportunity, but he gets a point and worked very hard the last 3 shifts.
Off the face-off now. The Aeros have it. And Steve Jakes hustles back into his own zone. Here is a pass for Robinson. Give it to Chitteroni, but now it's back into the Peoria zone for Terry Hollinger. Get it to center for Steve Potvin. Potvin turning in his own zone. Makes his move around Freer. Chipped away by Chitteroni. Now Freer. He's belted by Potvin. Now skate the skate along the boards. Freer's got it frozen. Still locked up as they kick and grind and dig. And finally we get a whistle with 7:13 to go in the first. 1-0 Houston leads it. Minute 33 left in the Arneal Minor.
You know, we're seeing a lot of tonight, a lot more clutching, a lot more grabbing. This is where the guys sometimes will take an old glove and take one of those old gloves out from the equipment thing, cut a hole in the palm, and try to sneak that finger or two in to grab onto a jersey. Less fighting in the playoffs, more grabbing, more holding, and the referees tend to let a lot more things go unless it has some influence on a goal.
At center ice, a face-off between Conroy and Potvin, but linesman says, you're out of there, Conroy. So now Maurice will take the draw. Drop of the puck. Rivermen win the face-off. Aaron Veach back in his own zone. Former first-round draft pick of the Washington Capitals. He'll bring it to center ice, and he almost turned it over. Now Potvin for the Rivermen shoots the puck into the Aero zone. Gamble stopped behind the net. Robinson clear to the line, not out. Veach held. Now Maurice, second effort, bangs it down the ice. Josh Sargent comes out this slow, and here is Terry Hollinger. Hollinger came back, and now Sargent stick handling still some more. I think he wanted to break out. Now the puck for Evans. I think Sargent wanted to lead the rush. Started up ice. Here's Darren Veach now. And across the line for Hollinger. 55 on the Peoria power play. Vaslowski, left wing. Vaslowski turning now. Centered cross ice. Missed Veach along the far boards. Veach now drifting back for Hollinger. Top of the slot. Chipped it down. Vaslowski had it knocked away, and down the ice it goes. Sargent again comes out of the net, and he gave the puck away. Now Goodis. Oh, great save by Sargent. Oh, man. Now another puck. Sargent, another save. Did he kick it into the net? No. He was scrambling around like 3 eggs in a frying pan Sunday morning. I was going to throw bacon down there. He looked like an omelet. Wow, what a save.
What an omelet this was. You talk about athleticism, folks. Sargent, who tried to headman the puck out, way out, dives down, stops it the first time, but then as Malgonis overskates it, he'll come back and says, oh, this crease is mine. You notice how he dove in and made certain that his body was right on the line. As we take yet another look at a diving Jeff Sargent. And again, as he comes back in here, notice how he outstretches himself and makes certain he is ahead of the goal line.
Unbelievable. I knew he was taking a chance coming out there, and he threw the puck right to Malgunas. He said, hey, if I make a turnover like that, I'm going to take care of it myself. And he did take care of business.
And doesn't Malgunas second-guess himself for not lifting the puck instead of putting it on the ice?
Here's a shot by Chitteroni, and Sargent makes another save. And Craig Johnson comes to center. Locked up by Harkins. 19 remaining in the Peoria power play. Mark Laniel crashing in the corner. Then Harkins comes in there and pops his man along the boards. Now the Rivermen turning along the right side. Craig Johnson to the line. Rennie Chapdelaine, fan on a shot. And the Aeros will shoot it down, and that will do it for the Peoria power play. Mike Dagenet at center. Roll the puck into the Aeros zone. Laniel is there for Houston. And here come the Aeros to center. McCrory across the line with Arneal. They cross up. Now McCrory makes his move. He centered it. Sargent tipped it away. Here's the puck for the Rivermen. Johnson for Denny Felsner. Felsner in across the line. Tipped away, and now a penalty. No, yeah, okay, there's the penalty. I wondered we were going to see it. And with 5:17 left in the first, the Aeros leading 1-0. They're going to go on the power play. The shots, how about this, folks? 15-2 in this first period. And this is what you call one of your classic road games right now for the Aeros.
Well, you know, what's interesting, Adam, is we have seen traditionally, the Aeros have played 13 back-to-back-to-back. That's the road hat trick, Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday night during the course of the year. And historically, we see that game 2 is the game that sometimes where the legs get a little tired. In game 3, you just kind of suck it up and say, hey, we got a day off tomorrow. tomorrow, a travel day. But tonight, the Aeros are playing with jump, and it only underscores what we talked about at the beginning, the importance of the game that you did last night while we were flying in.
Mulvena against Freer. The Aeros will get a third crack on the power play. Crowley slips the puck to Carl Valamont. Aeros 0 for 2 on the power play. Ed Crowley, he'll start the rush from left to right. Pass picked up Valamont. Rink wide Freer. He'll skate it through the neutral zone. Across the line. Freer, the shot. Tipped away by Chapdelaine. Now back behind the net. Hammerlick hammered by the Aeros McCrory. Arneal trying to move the puck along. It came to Freer. Back to the line. Here is Valamont getting set. Rolled it to Crowley. Crowley to Valamont. Top of the slot. The drive was a wide rebound. Arneal, the shot. Sargent save. Rebound. Belted out of there. Wow. Unreal. Sargent comes up with a couple of marvelous saves, and the puck is cleared. Back to the Aeros now. Valamont, a pass off the stick of Arneal. And Doug Evans back in his own zone. He'll spank it down the ice. It'll go into the Aeros zone. Ted Crowley with a minute to go on the power play. He'll skate it up and out of his zone. 4:15 to go in the first. 1-0 Houston. Crowley shoots the puck into the Peoria zone. Here is Conroy looking for Maurice. It's knocked away by Batters. Cleared to the line, not out. Held in by Valamont. Slivchenko overskated it. Batters turns, gets it up for Ron Hoover. He'll clear to the line. Can't get it out of there. Now Dagenet. He'll belt it to the line again. Not out. Held in by Valamont. Slipped it back behind the net. Sargent came out to play it though. Now Conroy outworks his man for the puck. Good work along the boards. Maurice give it to Conroy. Along the hash marks left side. He was knocked off the puck and the Rivermen will shoot it down. Half a minute to go in the power play. 3:42 to go in the first. 1-0. The Aeros lead it. Graham Townsend getting the goal. Here comes Houston now. Slivchenko. And he turned the puck over and Evans moves in and we're going to get a penalty. And while they sort this out, we'll take time out. 3:27 to go in the first. Aeros lead at 1-0. We'll be back after this.
1-0, your playoff-bound Houston Aeros leading Peoria. And Vadim Slivchenko gets 2 minutes, but he also gets a stick in the face. Yeah, they got him on the slash going down, but the skate of Doug Evans cuts him right over the left eyebrow, and Jerry Mines took him into the training room for a little quick medical attention.
Well, the Aeros need somebody to go serve the penalty, and we're waiting to see, and I think Mike Yeo will make his way over. So Yeo will go to the penalty box. He got an assist on that Townsend goal. And a face-off to the right side of Troy Gamble.
You know, Terry Ruskowski at the pregame meal today, we always sit down and go over what the game plan, and he said, well, I'll tell you what I'll do. He says, I'll write him down. This is kind of give you and Adam an idea. He said, but all bets are off after that. Why? Because he wants to try to find the different combinations. Tonight, we've seen Chitteroni a couple of times centering the line. We've seen some different combinations. He wants to try to work in McCrory, and that has been stable. But other than that, he has moved things around quite a bit. And it is interesting that Mike Yeo came up with that assist, because Yeo is probably 6 or 7 pounds lighter since having the flu last week, and getting in the scoring column as his team gets ready for the playoffs. Very big psychologically.
Here's Steve shakes off the face-off for another 5 seconds. We're 4-on-4, and then Peoria will get another crack on the power play. Here's Paslowski, slipped it back behind the net for Doug Evans. Waiting, wheeling, dealing, still the puck. Evans now cuts it out. The shot. Gamble stopped it loose in front. Aeros belted out of there, but not out of the zone. Gamble makes a nice stop here in the first at that point. Now to the line. Darren Veach. He winds, shoots, puck deflected wide of the net. It came behind the cage. Now rolls into the corner for Doug Evans. Back to the line, but Arneal intercepts it into center. He comes with Freer. Here comes Scott Arneal across the line. Arneal makes his move, drop for Freer, cuts in, he waits, turns, and then went behind the net and lost the puck. But the Aeros kill some time off. 1:20 left in the power play. Here come the Rivermen. Darren Veach across the line. Veach shoots it into the Aeros zone. Robinson is back, but it does not matter because offside's the call, and the face-up out to center with 2:40 to play in the first period. And the Aeros lead at 1-0. 1:13 left in the Slivchenko minor that Yeo serves.
Rob Robinson, one of the 5 Aero defensemen out there protecting Troy Gamble. Why 5? Well, you've got Grant with the shoulder, and Hunt has got the back situation, so it gives him more of an opportunity to speak with the new Aero, Mark Laniel, number 26, and we'll talk with him between periods.
Conroy will take the draw. I think we've got McCrory coming up for you in the second intermission. In the first intermission, we'll be chatting with Pete Deneen. Here is a puck controlled by Terry Hollinger. Puck to the right side. And now at center, it's Ron Hoover trying to move it through the check of Crowley. He's pinned along the boards. In after it's Kirk Tomlinson. Now it's Chitteroni trying to knock it free. They grind it out in the corner. Tomlinson's in there. Gives it to Ron Hoover. Good work along the boards by the Rivermen. Back to the line. They've got 45 on the power play. Veach wide shoots. Puck deflected. Gamble stopped it loose in front. The Aeros will shoot it down. But quickly out comes Joff Sargent. Now Veach to Hollinger. 35 on the power play. 2 minutes to go. Here in the first, Hollinger across the line for Tomlinson. He shoots. Gamble stopped it. The rebound cleared by Crowley. He got a right pad on that. Now the power play. The Rivermen have it. Back to the line. Chapdelaine rolled it down left wing for Tomlinson. Cuts it down. Here's the shot. Gamble stopped that. Now it's picked up again. The Rivermen have got it. Ed Courtney back to the line. Tomlinson rolled it to Hollinger. He shoots. Gamble the stick save and the puck is cleared and that'll do it for the power play. Great stop. Gamble going down low getting a stick on it. And here is Hammerlick behind the net. Martin Hammerlick a pass. It was picked up and lost by Steve Potvin. And back is Martin Hammerlick again for Peoria, playing peekaboo with Maurice behind the net. Comes out to the right side. Quick pass to center ice. Knocked away by Jakes. Brings it into the zone. No. Knocked away by the Rivermen. And here is Pazlowski off skates. Back to center. Chapdelaine lobbed it into the Aeros zone. And Gamble will slow behind the net as we're down to the final minute of the first period. Now Jakes getting into it with Potvin. A puck comes to center and goes all the way into the Peoria zone. Sargent will cover up as Malgunas came in there. And play whistle down. 50 seconds to go in the first, and the Aeros lead at 1-0.
And one observation, even though there have been only 7 shots on goal, especially on that power play, the wingers have done an excellent job of clearing things out. A moment a puck is deflected, they have just swooped in there and getting it. And not only they're getting it, but they're doing something. They're turning and flicking that puck down the boards and into the other zone. Conroy especially did a nice job with Mario Chitteroni on that power play.
Freer, Arneal, and McCrory with Valamont and Robinson. And a face-off to the left of Joff Sargent. And Freer will take the draw against Glenn Mulvena. 50 seconds to go in the first period. Sticks down, drop of the puck. And the Rivermen win the draw. Jeff Batters slipped it to the line. Is it out? They say no. They say it was held in. And it's back into the Peoria zone. Mike Dagenet played most of this year with the Cleveland Lumberjacks, just recently picked up in acquisition. Now it is Glenn Mulvena across the Aero blue line. Slips it over now for Ed Courtney. Courtney moving down the left side, base of the circle, moves in behind that. Wrapped up by Freer. Robinson tipped it away for Houston, moves it to the line, cleared to center, and back into the Peoria zone it'll go. 17 seconds to go in the first. 1-0 Houston leads at pocket center ice. Aeros turn it into the Peoria zone, and then Freer gets his stick and knocks Dagenet down, but play goes on. Rivermen have the puck. Here is Jeff Batters in behind his net, and he'll just let time run out. 2 seconds left, and that will do it for this first period. A period that the Aeros looked extremely sharp on, but don't kid yourself. Joff Sargent in goal for the Rivermen looked as sharp as well, stopping 16 of 17 shots. And an outstanding first period of action. 1-0 Houston leads it, and we'll have more from Peoria, including a chat with Pete Dineen right after this. Welcome back to the Peoria Civic Center. Adam Gordon along with Barry Warner. What an outstanding period of action. And a couple of guys that were factors in that period were Mark Laniel and Scott McCrory, two of the newer Aeros that are ready for the Aeros playoff roster. And before tonight's game, our Barry Warner had a chance to talk to Pete Dineen, who's made a lot of acquisitions before tonight's game. And here's what Pete Dineen had to say with Barry.
We're here with a man who looks awfully strange, Pete Dineen, because you don't have a telephone in your ear. What have the last 3 days been like, Pete, trying to finalize the playoff roster?
Well, it's been pretty hectic, the last few days. I've been in Cincinnati and had to come up with our final playoff roster as of 2 o'clock yesterday. So needless to say, I've spent a little time on the phone.
Pete, in a situation like this, what goes into the decision in acquiring specifically McCrory and Laniel?
Well, I think with McCrory, he was playing in Kalamazoo, and he is known more or less as a good, hard-working two-way hockey player. And I think given the opportunity, he's got a pretty good touch around the net, and I think he can possibly help our power play out a little bit. Mark Laniel is known as one of the premier offensive defensemen. He can run a power play and moves the puck exceptionally well out of our own end.
Now, unlike baseball, where you try to steal a guy for a pennant drive and hope you would help him for next year, your main focus right now on these two and the other players that we'll talk about is just helping the Aeros for the 1994 playoff season?
Right, exactly. With Mark's only, the two of them are both signed for just the 1 year. And what I was looking at, come this time of the year, when you're going in the playoffs, you want to go in there with the best roster possible. And I was able to pick up these two players, and I think they'll be a big addition.
All right. As far as the playoff roster is concerned, the roster gets expanded, but you still get to dress the same amount of guys, Pete?
Right. It's gone up to 25 players that we can put on the roster, and it's still 16 and 2 that we can dress.
Pete, guys like Berg, Caulfield, will they just be there on an emergency basis, or do we expect to see them at the Aerodrome on Monday?
Well, with Berg right now, he's in the middle of his playoffs. He's playing in Wichita in the Central Hockey League. We've got Sean O'Brien, who is in the out in the East Coast Hockey League. He's in the middle of their playoffs, and Jay Caulfield's up in Pittsburgh, and Jay played last year with Pittsburgh. He's got 2 Stanley Cups under his belt from the previous 2 years, and Jay's going to add a lot of muscle to our team, and depending on who we play in the playoffs, we might be able to use a Jay Caulfield.
Pete, thanks for your time.
Thanks, Barry.
So that's it from the man who put the Aero team together and the expanded playoff roster. We'll have more Aeros hockey after a brief timeout on your Houston Aero Broadcasting Network.
Welcome back to the Peoria Civic Center. Adam Gordon along with Barry Warner. A 1-0 hockey game. And I'll tell you, quite frankly, Troy Gamble played a good period. I mean, he only faced 7 shots, but the story has got to be Joff Sargent.
The Sargent has been a 5-star general. He's kept this from being about a 4-0 game, Adam.
Let's take a look at the Columbia HCA scoring summary brought to you by Columbia HCA Healthcare Corporation. The only goal, Graham Townsend, 17th of the year. A 12:07 from Mike Yo and Todd Harkins. And there is your 1-0 lead. This has been such a wonderful year, Barry, for the Houston Aeros, and guys from the marketing department and all the departments, Brad Ewing, Joe Pogge, everybody in the office has done a splendid job. But the general, as you talk about, for the Houston Aeros has been Steve Patterson all year. And before tonight's game, Barry, you had a chance to talk with Steve Patterson. Here's what was said in that interview.
Steve, as the regular season comes to an end, with the record-setting attendance figures and merchandising, what's the one thing you didn't count on that kind of blew you away as you reflect upon the inaugural year?
I think really the whole season has just been sort of overwhelming. I really expected us to average about 8,000. We've been over 11,500 and nearly 13 since Christmas, and of course the huge merchandise sales. But the great thing is to see all the families and the kids enjoying the game out there night after night, and we look forward to it again here coming up in the playoffs.
Steve, from a personal standpoint, how much vindication? You put together a championship NBA team, yet you weren't, quote, smart enough to be able to market and sell it. And now you've done this job here that is the talk of hockey.
Well, I think the important thing was we had a great staff, a great crew. A lot of them followed me over here from the Rockets, and those are all the same folks that set records for attendance throughout the 80s here in the middle of the Depression in Houston, and now we're setting records again in the hockey business, along with some good folks that have joined us since.
It's amazing how smart you got in 1 year, isn't it?
The same guy before as I am now.
Steve, how much of the success do you think your organization had because of what happened in Major League Baseball?
Well, I think it probably gave us a little more opportunity to get some media attention that we might not have otherwise gotten. But, overall, I'm really glad to see the Astros playing again. We had a bunch of them who are season ticket holders. Some of them are now in San Diego. But we're glad to see the Astros back playing. And I think we don't really compete against the baseball team or the basketball team. We really compete against all the other opportunities that folks have for entertainment, whether it's movies or online services or Pace concerts or anything else.
Steve, where does this franchise go from here?
Well, I think you're going to continue to see us grow and take on new business opportunities in this town. You're going to continue to see us build rinks around town. The Aerodrome out in Sugar Land has been fantastically successful. We'll be adding another sheet of ice out there by next fall, and hopefully adding a couple more rinks around Houston. And I think overall you're going to see the league continue to grow. We're now in 16 of the top 30 media markets, and that's going to continue to grow. We're going to be in 25 major U.S. media markets in the next couple of years.
And what big plans for the All-Star game? Anything you want to tell our viewers right now?
I think it's the great thing about this All-Star game is it's going to be an entire weekend of entertainment. We'll have a Friday night Legends game with a concert and a kids All-Star game as part of it, along with the All-Stars on Saturday, and a great fan fest that we're working on putting together right now for the entire 3-day weekend.
It is a 1-0 Aero lead here from the Peoria Civic Center, and we'll have more right after this. A 1-0 hockey game. The Aeros leading the Peoria Rivermen. Adam Gordon along with Barry Warner. You know, you talked about intensity, and the Aeros trying to get that intensity ready for the playoffs. I really thought we saw it in that first period.
No question, especially with Graham Townsend. A great job as he dug the puck out, fed it to Yo, and then to position himself for the rebound.
Well, speaking of Graham Townsend, let's take a look at the McDonald's highlights. And Graham Townsend gets the only goal of the hockey game, and it's good hard work between Harkins and Yo. Townsend fishes a puck, gives it to Yo, and like that, it's in the net, and it's a 1-0 hockey game. We talked about the goaltenders, Barry, and how big they were. How about Joff Sargent right here?
Well, Sargent decided he wanted to play a winger. Malgunas tries to get the puck up, and he did lift it, and somehow Sargent makes the save. And watch this great play of reactions as he comes in and just cheats the Aeros out of yet another goal.
He thought he was Lou Brock, but hey, Troy Campbell had to make some saves too, folks. He faced 7 shots, and the one that he makes coming up here was the one started by Terry Hollinger. Worked it over in the drive, the shot, look at that big right pad save, and Campbell comes up with a nice stop, and that's why we are at a 1-0 hockey game. You take a look at the Boston Company stats, 17-7 the shots on goal, and the power plays, both teams are 0 for 3. It's 1-0 Houston, and we'll have second period action next. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Peoria Civic Center. Adam Gordon, Barry Warner. Aeros lead at 1-0. And there's other scores going on in the IHL as we take a look at the snapper scoreboard. Fort Wayne leading Cleveland 5-3. Boy, they're going to put all the pressure on Indianapolis for that last playoff spot. Detroit 2-1 in the first. Other scores, look at that. Kalamazoo leading Indianapolis 3-2. And in the first period, Atlanta and Kansas City, no score. No score yet between Denver and Milwaukee. And later this evening, Minnesota at Las Vegas. We're set for the second period. Aeros defend the goal to our right. The Rivermen the goal to our left, and we're underway. Puck is in the Peoria zone. Here's Rennie Chapdelaine. He'll drift in behind the net and start the rush from left to right. Aeros lead it 1-0. Pass from Chapdelaine to center ice. Felsner tipped it ahead for Craig Johnson across the Aero line. Dropped it down. Here's the quick shot, hit the side of the net as that was ripped by Prokhorov. Now a puck picked up by Scott McCrory, and he will bank it rink wide for Arneal. Arneal for Houston across the line. Arneal centered one. Freer tried to get a stick on it, couldn't come up with it, and Prokhorov will clear it. At the center ice, Craig Johnson, a pass for Denny Felsner across the line. Felsner pulls up, cuts to the slot, and then a poke check by Robinson, but a shot got away from Felsner, and a right pad save made by Gamble. Now it is Jakes behind the net. Rolled a pass for Robinson, moving it up the right side. Robinson, he'll skate it out to center ice. Robinson at center circle, chipped the puck into the Peoria zone. Out of the net, it's Joff Sargent. Leave it for Rennie Chapdelaine. He'll turn the puck around. A minute gone in the second period. A 1-0 hockey game. Aeros lead it. Now a penalty coming up as Mario Chitteroni got the lumber in a little too tight of Stevie Patva, and the Rivermen will go back on the power play. The Aeros, no power play goals given up. And this will be the fourth power play for Peoria's. Chitteroni right here comes up with a penalty.
Yeah, a minute and 5 seconds into the period. Chitteroni got it around and pulled. He said, oops, I didn't do it. Sorry, caught you. Chitter out for 2 minutes. So Conroy, Valamont, Malgunas, and Crowley.
Face off at center ice. Conroy wins the draw. Here is Ted Crowley at center. Aeros have been spectacular in their penalty killing in their last 6 games. They've allowed 1 power play goal in their last 6 games. That was last night against Indianapolis. Now, puck at center ice. Here come the Rivermen. Terry Hollinger across the line. Right in, a backhander. And Gamble stopped it. And the Aeros will shoot it down the ice. Joff Sargent out of the net. He'll slow the puck around. And now it's played by Peoria. Darren Veach with a minute and a half to go in the power play. 18:23 to go in the second period. And the Aeros lead at 1-0. Rivermen on the power play. to center ice. Terry Hollinger weaving through the neutral ice area. He'll shoot the puck into the Aeros zone. Gamble wanted to play it. Took a hop off the boards. Aeros can't clear. Along the right side, Doug Evans now for the Rivermen. Chipped it back down now. Steve Potvin. Potvin now back to the line for Veach. Chipped it back for Potvin. Top of the right circle. Waiting. Drifting down. Now for Doug Evans. Sends it back to Veach. Wide. Lets a shot go. Gamble stopped it. Puck loose in front. Potvin the shot. Gamble with a left pad save. Unreal. And now it is picked by Maurice and cleared all the way to the line. Not out. Held in by Hollinger. Gamble shuffling the pads. Nice. Now on the boards. Greg Paslowski with under a minute to go on the power play. Paslowski. To Hollinger to Veach. Back to Hollinger. Give it over now. Centering pass knocked away. And here's Maurice. He'll steer it up to Conroy. 38 to go on the power play as Conroy slipped it into the Peoria zone. Sargent out of the net. Aeros making changes on the fly. Darren Veach, he'll meander up and out of his zone, romping to center ice. He'll shoot the puck into the Aero zone. It'll go to the near side. Freer can't find the handle. Veach held it in, but Freer takes it away. And now Harkins a man to beat with 18 to go on the power play. Harkins short-handed, and he's hauled down. No penalty. Sargent comes out of the net. Now it is Darren Veach with the power play down to 10 seconds. At center ice, Tomlinson across the line. He'll shoot the puck in. Gamble out of the net to stop. Now, here's a centering pass. Courtney couldn't not jam it free. Robinson lugs it out as the penalty is over. Team to 5 aside. Now a pass at center for Chitteroni. Chitteroni out of the box. Roll the puck ahead. Across the line, he'll shoot it in, and the Aeros will come off for changes. Mike Dagenet. He'll shoot it down the ice. Icing indicated, and the Aeros will go back. Mark Laniel is there, and we'll take time out. 3.5 gone in the second. 1-0 Houston. We're right back after this.
Lots of flights have always been a hallmark of Southwest Airlines. We fly to suit your convenience rather than making you show up to suit our convenience. So if you're through with your appointment early or something holds you up, with Southwest Airlines you don't have to worry because there are so many flights that you can simply go when you want to go and return when you want to return. It's a great asset in your business life, but also it's important for your personal life. And it's another reason why Southwest is the low-fare airline.
Lasso the chance of a lifetime in the Super 7-Up giveaway. Stop by your local Garland's Food Fair. Fill out an entry form at the 7-Up display and pick up your favorite 7-Up product. And you could find yourself flying to Miami on Continental Airlines, offering more flights from Houston than any other airline. Then you'll sail to Key West, Cancun, and Cozumel aboard Norwegian Cruise Lines, offering 3-, 4-, and 7-day cruises to Alaska, Bermuda, the Bahamas, and the Caribbean. So stop by Garland's now and take the chance of a lifetime with the Super 7-Up giveaway.
The battle lines have been drawn and the enemy is near. Be there for the Aeros assault on the 95 Turner Cup 7-game playoff packages are now available for less than $50. You can enjoy the same seats throughout the playoffs and also go to the top of the priority list for their next season tickets. For more information, call 627-AERO. Operators are standing by right now. Pick up the phone and give the Aeros a call. Folks, the summit can only hold about 15,000, but I'm sure we'll find room for you somewhere for the playoffs. Get that phone and call 627-AERO. Off the face-off now, Aeros have the puck in the Peoria zone. Arneal jammed it down. Here is McCrory. Worked it back to the line. Here is Crowley. The shot, glove saved by Sargent, and he'll hold on. The shot from Ted Crowley got right through, but Joff Sargent saw it the whole way, and he will cover up and hold on. 4 minutes gone in the second, 1-0 Houston.
And that's the first shot on goal for the Aeros this particular period. Crowley just letting one go from the point. And Sargent just glove hands it. You talk about the operator standing by, Mark Shane Brown, Cindy Bryson, and other members of the Aeros staff waiting for your phone calls, and Adam was not kidding. It only holds 15-5, and don't forget the game last week, a record-setting standing room only game as the Aeros just completely blew away all expectations, averaging almost 12,000 per game.
Face off to the right of Joff Sargent. Off the face-off now. The Rivermen have got it. Rennie Chapdelaine. He'll turn a puck to the right side for Denny Felsner. Felsner's pass knocked away by Valamont. Rivermen back in their own zone. Martin Hammerlick at center now. Work the puck ahead. That picked away by Kevin Malgunas. And it's shot back into the Aero zone. Campbell misplayed it. He had to hustle back, and now it was center, but nobody there for Peoria. Evan Malgunas clear to center ice. Rennie Chapdelaine shoots it into the Aero zone. Jakes hustles back. Gamble slows behind the net. Now Jakes will turn up ice. Jakes long pass goes all the way down the ice. Icing is indicated as Chapdelaine is back and touching, and there is an icing call on Houston with 4.5 played in the second. 1-0 Aeros.
Some of our friends from Houston coming up at Sue Morris and other members of the Houston Aeros Tail Gunners coming up. They were there last night. Susan Murray, Jennifer Hart, Ann and Lisa Millette, Anita Millette, Charlotte Jones, and others. And Dr. Eddie Matsu, team physician, stuck his head up at our broadcasting booth position. So they're here for the Aeros as they conclude the regular season. Game tonight, of course, and then tomorrow night in Chicago. Adam, you come back on Sunday, Monday morning, get to meet Mike Munchak playing the Mike Munchak Leukemia Tournament along with Rob Dobson, Glenn Hart, Tagliarino, Joe Pogge, and Mike Maurice, and yours truly.
Looking forward to that. Here's Terry Hollinger, center to puck for Peoria, knocked away by Laniel, and he'll clear it at center. The Aeros have a 2-on-1, and it's Maurice across the line. He tried to snap it. For a minute there, he thought he was Mike Munchak. Puck is back in the Peoria zone. Here's Terry Hollinger, worked it ahead, and back at center ice. The Aeros have got it. Laniel for Townsend. That almost looked like a two-line pass. 5 minutes gone in the second. 1-0. The Aeros lead it. Townsend. On the left side, he takes a check from Pazlowski. Now Harkins grinding it out with Steve Potvin. And here is Darren Veach for Peoria in his own zone. Forecheck by Townsend. Puck to the left side for Terry Hollinger. Now to Greg Pazlowski. Pass up the right wing is intercepted by Lagnon. The Aeros take over at their own blue line. Robinson shoveled it down and hit the Aeros in the bench. And play whistle down. You know, the Aeros, if you've been following tonight, Dave Tippett's not in the lineup, but he's on the bench. There's Mr. Tippett, and just giving him a rest. He'll be behind the bench, I'm sure, again tomorrow in the Chicago game. And tell you what a year this guy's had.
I'll tell you something. That is the biggest surprise this year. Out of all the players that have come in, the offense of Dave Tippett has been the single biggest surprise to Pete Dineen. They knew about his ability as a checker. They knew the class and the dignity, the professionalism that he brought. But they didn't realize how much offense he still had left. And let me tell you, take a good look at that man, because someday you're going to be seeing him with a Stanley Cup. He and Scott Arniel will be great coaches in the NHL.
Yeah, I was going to say, take a look at the picture right there with him on the bench and get used to it. I think in the NHL, that's going to be his familiar spot in years to come. Puck is back in the Aero zone. Gamble flipped it along the boards nicely to Arniel. He chipped it ahead. Can the Aeros clear it? Yes, they will. Peoria drills it back in. Here is Ted Crowley. Delayed offside. The Rivermen have to clear, and the Aeros a chance to break out with it. Valum on a quick pass. Intercepted by Mulvena. Turned in front. Here's Ron Hoover, the shot. That is blocked. Now Scott McCrory jumps on a loose puck. He will fling a rink-wide pass for Arniel, having a little trouble with him. He's belted by Rennie Chapdelaine, but Freer takes over. Freer to Arniel. He had his stick held, or he lost his stick, so he grabbed one. It wasn't his, it was a Riverman stick. Eddie Courtney now, the center for Mulvena, dropped it back. Martin Hammerlich getting set, long shot, whistled wide of the net. It'll go to Arniel, chipped it off the boards and down the ice it'll go. Icing is indicated, but Sargent is out to play it. Now Martin Hammerlich along the left side. He'll lob it out at center. It hits skates, but Craig Johnson is there, and he'll bring it ahead. Jakes intercepted it, and he fell, but got it out at neutral ice. Turned around by Felsner. Puck ahead for Johnson. Picked away, and now Jakes again. A rink-wide pass for Conroy. Hits the line, fakes the shot. Now dropped to Robinson. He's got the shot, and Sargent, a stick save. It's cleared by Peoria. At center, it'll go down the ice. Icing indicated, and if the Aeros get there, it will be icing, and we will take another timeout. 7 minutes gone in the second. 1-0 Houston. We'll be right back.
When you need an auto part, you don't need to search high and low.
I'd never been to an auto parts store before.
A friend said she'd save money doing it herself.
I never would have thought I'd change a headlight.
I told her it was a lot easier than it looked.
The high-low guy told me how, step by step.
Knew she could do it.
Knew I could do it.
She could get a headlight anywhere. What she needed was high-low.
Richard Dean and action. Richard Dean and gadgets. Richard Dean and gunfights, bar brawls, bank robberies, daring rescues. Richard Dean and person beautiful is in big trouble. because this town needed a hero.
It's okay now, little lady.
And they got him instead.
Always a pleasure to meet a fan.
Legend.
Coming April 18th to UPN 20.
On April 18th, we'll bring you bar brawls, bank robbers, and shootouts. No, it's not Aeros hockey. It's MacGyver's Richard Dean Anderson as he returns in Legend. The Wild West gets a lot wilder April 18th on the United Paramount Network. Brawls, bank robbers, and shootouts? Yeah, that sounds like a hockey game. You get your odd tussle, and when you see gamble in the pipes, you'd think it'd be bank robbery. My reaching and shootout speaks for itself, especially last night. We'll pick up my arm. I think I'm reaching. Now the puck is in the Peoria zone. Here is Yo in the corner for Houston. He turns along the board, looking for Conroy. Knocked away, and Darren Veach has got it. Veach, base of the circle, chipped it up for Felsner. Knocked away, came to the Aeros for Conroy, looking for Yo. Swept away by Veach, back to the blue line for Jakes, and he held it in nicely. Aeros, they're forechecking, quite frankly, in the Indianapolis game last night. And what I've seen so far tonight, it's been as good as it's been all year long. They have been tenacious. They are grinding it out along the boards, and boy, they can really turn it up when they want to. It's kind of the Aeros team we remember from about the first month of the season when they just put the nose to the grindstone and the work they won. Now a pass got through at center, but Malamont rights Craig Johnson off the puck, and Laniel turns it around. He's got a 2-on-1. Now a 3-on-2 across the line. Maurice cutting in the shot. I don't know what happened there. It looked like he got a little too much loft on it. Looked like he was more Ben Crenshaw with a high tee shot than a hard Mike Maurice shot. Now at center, Harkins across the line. Harkins a good shot, and there was the stop by Geoff Sargent. He will cover up and hold on with 8 minutes gone. Second period, and the Aeros lead at 1-0. They've got 3 shots on goal here in the first. And you wanted some physical play. How about this one?
Adam, this underscores what we talked about at the open of our cast. The tenacious checking, what playoff hockey is all about. How you finish your checks. It may be boring from a fan standpoint because it's not going to be one of those 7-3 type games. But the mucking, the skating, the working hard all the time in the corner. And this man who's got the only goal of the game, Graham Townsend, along with this kid, I'll tell you, Jeff Fisher was at the game the other day. He watched Arneal, Fisher, and he couldn't help but raving about Harkins and what a fine athlete he was as a center.
Off the face-off, Aeros have it. Townsend to Maurice. He centered a puck, the shot, scores! Todd Harkins on cue. Mr. Water taps it in there, and it's a 2-0 game.
Well, we talked about it. Jeff Fisher liked him. He saw the athleticism. This is a kid who could have gone to Ohio State and several other Big Ten schools as an all-state linebacker, but he's got such great hands. And for a man who plays center, well, you think of guys like Conroy and Chitteroni, but this is a marvelous, marvelous athlete. He was a #1 draft choice from Calgary, and you can understand why Pete Dineen got accused of robbery when he brought Conroy and Harkins over. Just a great job as he slices between 2 players. Mo does a nice job there with that backhand spin and puts the puck in. Let's give credit to Mike Maurice and also to our UPN crew. A great job of having the picture tell 1,000 words for us, guys.
Now the puck is in the Aero zone. They lead it 2-0. Crowley rolled it near side Arneal. Chapdelaine was there to knock it free, and here's Pazlowski, a rink-wide pass for Doug Evans. And swept down for Steve Potvin. Potvin left circle, cuts in, winds, looks for a shot, can't get it away as he's got Freer on his case. Now Pazlowski along the board, sweeps it down. Here's a chance as the Rivermen bring it in, but it's intercepted by Robinson. McCrory, a pass to center, but it's knocked away by Potvin. Arneal bumped him off the puck. It goes into the Aero zone, and Houston is back. 11:03 to go here in the second. Freer trying to lodge it along, and he's got it locked up. And it's finally kicked free of the scrum. Crowley rolled it along the boards. It came to Ed Courtney, though. Courtney held it in, dodged a McCrory check now. Sends one for Doug Evans, base of the circle. Back to the line for Veach. His shot deflected, and the Aeros turn it around. Crowley, the center ice for McCrory. He will hit the line as Arneal comes off for a line change, so he'll move in alone. And then it's taken back by the Rivermen. Aeros making changes on the go. Here come the Rivermen at center ice. Conroy takes his man along the boards, and Houston back. Laniel shoots the puck ahead, but Veach is at his own blue line for Peoria. Give it to Terry Hollinger with 10:20 to go in the second. The Aeros lead it 2-0. Jakes. Pass slides through Conroy, and And now it is Ron Hoover sweeping down the left side. He takes a huge check from Jenks, and down he goes. Now here's Ed Courtney, though. He takes over for Peoria in the Aeros zone. Courtney to Veach. Launched it down to the corner. Conroy came away with it. Conroy get it out at center ice. Back is Darren Veach. Veach to Hollinger. He'll hoist it into the Arizona. We get a whistle as the Rivermen are offside. You know, you look at the score, Barry Warner, 2-0. The Aeros lead it. And you're going, you got to remember, Peoria, they're without Michel Mongeau, their best player. He is out, as far as I know, I think for the rest of the year with an injury. He's on the injury reserve list, and from what I understand, he's not even on their playoff roster.
No, he won't be back. And Roberts, both Lampierre's, Ian and Dan was traded yesterday to Ottawa. As we take a look at Slivy is back. Dr. Jerry Mines, the best in the eye. There's now how important are hands. Watch a great job here by Mike Maurice as he just backhands and puts it right on the stick of Todd Harkins. And hands so important for hockey.
At center ice, Graham Townsend. He's knocked off the puck and he's a little slow to get up.
Chappeldine really nailed him there. Graham hit him, spun around, and he was off balance, and Rene Chapdelaine gave him a shot, and Doc Jerry Mines is out there taking a look at him.
Well, while they take care of that, we'll take care of business. 2-0 Houston. We'll be right back.
30 seconds and counting. The guidance system will go internal at the 17-second mark. Now 25 seconds. We have complete clearance for launch. We are go. Sequence start. Engines on. 5, 4, 3, 1. All engines running. Liftoff. We have liftoff.
Watch The Finish Line weeknights on UPN 20.
Introducing the Toyota T100 Extra Cab. Its new 190 horsepower V6 actually outperforms V8s. It's big and spacious, yet amazingly maneuverable. And it's extremely rugged, yet incredibly refined. The new T100 Extra Cab. It's the Toyota of big trucks.
2-0 the Aeros lead, and the man who's got the first goal, Graham Townsend, goes down, but he is okay. Reminiscent, Adam, of what we saw with Dale Hatcher against Jeremy Roenick the other day in the Chicago-Dallas game, where a knee gets into the knee of Graham Townsend.
That is scary. I think the difference is between this and the Darian Hatcher is that I think Townsend walked off on his own power. He'll be back. I hope. I don't know. I'm just a broadcaster. I'm not a team doctor. There's a lot of reasons for that.
We got Eddie Matsu up here, so we'll get that taken care of.
Here come the Aeros across the line. Now it's taken back by Peoria, clear to center, and now across the line it was Johnson, and boy, took a high stick from Robinson, but play going on. Puck goes into the Peoria zone, and the Rivermen are out. And here they come. It is Craig Johnson in his own zone with 9:09 to go. Here in the second period, 2-0 Houston. Across the line, the Rivermen come. Johnson, backhander, wide. Now the puck along the boards. Johnson working hard. He has played a very strong hockey game this evening. Felsner to Johnson. Shoots it down low, redirected. Gamble will cover up and then play it over to Steve Jenks. Center ice, Maldunas. Shoots it into the Peoria zone. Out of the net, it's Joff Sargent. Now turns it up for Batters. Banks it off the boards. Clear to the line, out at center. And then McCrory takes a hit. And here come the Rivermen at center ice. Puck shot in by Kirk Tomlinson. Gamble comes out to play. 8.5 to go here in the second. Aeros lead at 2-0. Back at center. Peoria's got it. Mike Dagenet into the Aero zone, but Malamont knocked it down. Malamont to center for McCrory. Give it to Freer. Across the line, he will come with Arneal. Give it to Laniel. Moving down the left side. Freer bumped along the boards, and here is Jeff Batters. Batters weaving up and out of his zone. A pass to center for Paslowski. Looking for Doug Evans, rejected by Laniel at the blue line. Aeros trying to find the puck at the blue line, and it squirts free, and here they come. They've got a 3-on-2 if they hurry. A long pass, Conroy, right at goal! The shot, hurt off the glass, and it's all the way back. And we get a whistle. We're going to get a penalty. We're going to get a slashing minor. I do not know on whom. And let's see, is it going to be Mike Dagenet? I think it is. Mike Dagenet will go to the box, and the Aeros are going to get a power play. tell you what, folks, this has been a playoff-type game, and if you have not gotten your playoff tickets, let me tell you, folks, get them. The single-game packages are on sale now. You can, if you want to, if you say to yourself, well, I can't have a 7-game pack. Well, the single-game tickets are on sale as well right now. The single-game packages allow you, of course, just to bring you in a friend and come out and enjoy the game. 629-3700 is the number to call, and sure to make that call, because Barry will be very upset if he doesn't see it at the game.
I'll be very, very upset. I want to see 15,000 plus of my close personal friends there really enjoying playoffs, returning to Houston for the first time in 16 years.
Aeros on the power play. Crowley a drive, and Sargent kicked it out of there. And the Rivermen shoot it down the ice. 7:40 to go in the second period. A 2-0 Aero lead. They've got a minute 49 on the power play. Crowley weaving up and out of his zone. A pass at center knocked away by Johnson. Maurice trying to fish it out. It goes into the Peoria zone and quickly cleared. Here come the Rivermen short-handed. Glenn Mulvena will shoot it into the Aero end. Gamble goes behind the net. And here is Ted Crowley. Crowley rolls a puck to Carl Valama. He'll boom one into the Peoria zone. Sargent trying to play the bouncing puck, and somehow he corralled it and cleared it out at center. Delayed offsides as the Aeros have to clear the zone. And we'll get a whistle, and the offsides call is made. 7:03 to go in the second. 2-0 Houston.
Adam, fundamentally, this is such a sound game. I mean, you could not draw up a better situation. The team has an emotional win last night. You guys drove on the bus from Cincinnati, or from Indianapolis to Peoria. You got what to bet, about 4 in the morning, Adam, 3:30, 4 o'clock. But 4 o'clock, the guys get in. No skate come down. Terry has a meeting, pre-game meal, and they come out and they play with great intensity. And Adam, I don't remember a game this year where I have seen the wingers and the defense do a better job of clearing the puck out.
Well, now they're going to say it's an intentional offsides, and they're going to move the face-off all the way down into the Aero zone.
What game are they watching?
Well, I mean, it's a judgment call. Jakes goes in, he knows it's offsides, but he never played the puck. But they felt that even though he knew it was offsides, they're going to call it intentional. He never played it. He just went into forecheck. I mean, I think you should allow a guy to go in and forecheck even though he's offsides, because the guy may try and fire one all the way out of the zone, and it might get intercepted at center. Not that that'd do any good, because Jakes would still be trapped in there. But, oh well, the Aeros pleading their case, but delayed offside's the call, and that means it's like an icing call. Instead of facing it outside your zone, it goes, or outside the opponent's end, you bring it all the way down the ice. It's like an icing call. Off the face-off, Aeros have the puck. Here is Ted Crowley now for Mark Laniel. Worked it back, a pass for Crowley. He'll skate it to center ice. Crowley shoots it into the Peoria zone. Sargent out of the net to Slow. Now Chapdelaine trying to clear. Here is Doug Evans for Peoria. Sends it back. The puck is cleared down. Don't forget, Aeros are on the power play, folks. They only have 55 seconds. They're making 50 now on the power play. Jakes out of his zone. He will wait and then bring it across the line. Here's a pass that's intercepted by Doug Evans, and he'll clear it to center, and down the ice it goes. Steve Jakes goes back. Jakes cleared one at center for Conroy with half a minute to go on the man advantage. Out of the net, Sargent. He'll trickle it up the left side. Johnson trying to clear. Now Chitteroni score! That thing was about as pretty as a block punt on the 2-yard line, but yet the Aeros take that turnover and pop it into the net, and it's a 3-0 Aero lead, a power play goal.
Well, it was not artistic, but it was very opportunistic. Goal number 24 of the year for the guy who paid his way to camp and did not have a contract, Mario Chitteroni. The puck flies out as 2 Aeros. When you've got the advantage, you just do that. You put 2 against 1 in the corner, fight for it. The puck comes out, and Chitteroni says, hey, this is easy. As we get another look. Jerseys all over the place. Conroy getting in to help kick that out. And Chitteroni just to the short side. And what a rotten feeling that is for a goaltender when he goes, uh-oh, there's no way I can get back there. And just about the time you think you're there, the lamp goes off.
6:11 to go in the second period, and the Aeros leading the Rivermen 3-0. Puck shot into the Aero zone. Robinson trying to clear. In there now is Yeo, and he'll come to center with Malgunas. Across the line, Malgunas. He's bumped. Got the puck to Yeo. Sends it down. Chitteroni centered. Malgunas couldn't get a shot away, and Sargent will reach down and cover up the puck with 5:51 to go in the second. 3-0 Houston.
Adam, what's so impressive when you take a look, 112 points Peoria has. That's second only to Denver. I mean, we're not talking about a team that is chopped liver. We're talking about one of the favorites to win the Turner Cup. And what a loud, resounding signal the Aeros are sending throughout this last road trip. A come-from-behind shootout win last night, and then 3 goals by 3 different Aeros and an absolutely flawless performance with 5:51 to go in the second.
Aeros have it off the draw. Here is Jakes, the drive, whistled wide of the net. Don't kid yourself, folks. Peoria playing for absolutely nothing in this game outside of maybe just a little bit of pride and just trying to win because they can't lose first place and they can't catch Denver. So, I mean, realistically to them, this game doesn't mean anything. They don't want to risk injury. You know, they've got some key guys that are playing. You don't want to lose an Evans or a Pazlowski for the playoffs. So they're, I would venture a guess, they're at about 90% tonight. Here's a puck that came out in front, score. How about that one? How about that one? And the Rivermen score on that one, so I guess one ugly goal to another. So the Aeros find themselves kind of looking back here a little bit. I don't know if Gamble expected it, but like that, it is a 3-1 hockey game.
Keep your eyes on 26 Potvin as the puck rings around behind the cage. Troy goes to play it, and Potvin comes in here. I thought Potvin had used his hand to pass that puck out. We didn't see it as he was down there by Chitteroni, but there's, no, I'm sorry, it was not the hand. He used his stick. Lying down with 2 arrows on him. How freaky is that, folks?
Now the Rivermen back at center. They'll shoot it to Evans. And Rennie Chapdelaine trying to move through the check of Maurice. Harkins bumped them along the board, but it's turned around and the Aeros come to center ice. Townsend's okay. He's back out there. Harkins and Maurice and Townsend. Harkins a shot and Sargent to save with 5:02 to play here in the second period. Houston leads at 3-1.
All right, very critical right now for the Aeros during the next 5:02. They give up that 1 goal, as freaky and flukish as it may be. 2 arrows down with the player who's on the ice, gets the stick and wraps it around. The Aeros have got to come down and do the one thing that Roscoe said, mental toughness. That was his mantra as the team headed on this 3-game road trip. And that is what they're going to need right now with 5:02 to go in the second.
Face off to the right of Choff Sargent. Off the face off, it's lugged out by Chapdelaine. In behind the net now, the Rivermen have got it. Courtney slipped it to center. Puck goes out of play. We'll take a break. 3-1 Houston, and we'll have more IHL action from Peoria after this. Well, we've talked quite a bit about the playoffs and how to get tickets. Now you're saying, well, gee, what game can I go see? First game of that first round. It'll be game 3 in that first round, but the first one at the Summit will be on Friday, the 21st. The Aeros, and we don't know who, but I guarantee you it'll be pretty good as the playoffs start. The Aeros' inaugural season and the inaugural playoffs. The 95 road to the Turner Cup.
629-3700 for tickets.
Clock is at center ice. Arneal across the line, shoots it on, and Sargent will play it. He will cover up, and he will hold on with 4:24 to play.
That, by the way, if you happen to have your tickets, and I know most of our Aeros season tickets do, that is game A on the 7-game ticket script. When we get all the information, which will probably be sometime Monday afternoon, throughout the various media outlets, we'll let everyone know. But right now, Adam, I only went to the University of Buffalo. I don't have the higher intellectual quotient that you do to figure out who the Aeros are going to play. So I'm just going to let until the dust settles.
We might have some answers tonight. Might. It's so tight in that Central Division, I don't know if we can totally solve it tonight, but might have an idea as Robinson lets a shot go, and that just goes wide of the net. Kirk Tomlinson up on the left side, cleared it out at center. Aeros are back. Robinson, a pass. Freer got in and then lost an edge, crashed and burned, and down to the ice he goes. Now it is picked up by Pazlowski. He will bank the puck off the boards. It's to the line, not out. Aeros hold it in. Arneal right in, and he was banged off the puck. And Sargent will cover up and hold on.
Shots on goal, the Aeros 25, 13 for the Rivermen, and the big stat, 3 Aero goals and 1 for the Rivermen. Scott O'Neill had 4 shots on goal in the first period. And Scott gets yet another shot here. He's coming in, tries to locate it.
and he's just knocked off the puck as Sargent comes out.
Face off in the circle to the left side of Joff Sargent. Conroy, Chitteroni, and Slivchenko. Off the draw, the Peoria Rivermen have the puck, roll it near side. Chitteroni in there to give Ed Courtney some work, and Chitteroni a quick shot. It was stopped. Now Slivchenko turning in the Peoria zone, hits the brakes, now cutting in the circle. Slivchenko looking for a pass. He cuts in, lets his shot go, and that was ripped wide of the net. He just creates so many chances. Now a penalty coming up, and I think Peoria is going to get nailed with a cross check. And the Aeros are going to go on the power play once again. Darren Veach giving Al Conroy a little bit of a look, but Veach will go off, and the Aeros will go back on the power play.
Conroy hasn't done much offensively, but he's done a wonderful job in killing penalties. And even though he's short, he does a fine job of turning around and hip checking people, really slowing people down in the open ice.
3:37 to go in the second period, and the Aeros lead it 3-1, and they'll go back on the power play. And let's see, Conroy comes out with Maurice Slivchenko, Laniel, and Valimont defensively.
The reason why Crowley's not out there, he's got either a hip injury or something to his low back, but he's skated off under considerable pain on his last shift.
Face off between the near circle and the blue line of the Peoria zone. Aeros win the draw. Laniel steers it over Valimont. Quick shot glove by Sargent. Now it's picked up by Martin Hammerlick and cleared all the way down the ice. Again, with the fact that the Aeros are on a power play, and now, well, that's going to be short-lived. There's now a penalty coming up, and I think Slivchenko may go, but it's going to be an Aero penalty, and that'll do it for the power play as Slivchenko will go to the penalty box. And what's it going to be for? Slash. So 2 minutes up to Slivchenko, and 3-1 Houston.
Well, Darren Veach, 2 visits to the penalty box, and this is the second trip in for Slivy.
Face off in the Aero zone. In the circle to the left side of Troy Gamble. You got to feel for Gams on the last goal. I mean, he's played so well, and then to have that one, that bombshell trickle in, that top shelf blast, if you will. Feel for Gams. I don't know if he lost sight or just miscommunicated and didn't know where it was coming. I mean, it was a good play by Potna, but that's the goal he gave up, and he has looked solid tonight. Hasn't faced a lot of work. The team in front of him has done pretty well also. Puck is in the Aero zone. Harkins trying to clear. He'll get it to the line, not out. Hammerlick a shot. That's redirected wide. Evans was wreaking a little havoc in front of Gamble. Now Laniel trying to get in there, but it's picked up by Chapdelaine. Make it, here's a shot that's knocked in there. Evans, Chapdelaine's shot was redirected. Now along the boards it comes. Fished out by Rennie Chapdelaine. Right side. Chapdelaine cuts it down to the line. Pazlowski, the shot redirected. Score! Rennie Chapdelaine, and it's a 3-2 hockey game. It is not a power play goal. It's a 4-on-4 goal. Peoria will still get their short power play.
That looks like, as we want to take a look at it, but Adam, it looked like it may have gone off of a skate, and that skate may have been off of number 26, Mark Laniel. He was in front of the cage, did a nice job on the prior shot. Redirected off of a stick and in.
Chapdelaine's stick, I think.
Yeah.
So the Aeros now, after building a 3-0 lead, have given up 2 unanswered Peoria Rivermen goal. And we're under 3 minutes to go in the second. Now off the face-off, Aeros shoot the puck into the Peoria zone. Hollinger goes back into the corner. Hollinger weaving up and out of the zone to the line and center. Here comes Mike Dagenet. Dagenet, a pass, knocked away. Mulvena brought it in, but it came back. Dagenet winds, Fan on a shot. Then it came down low, the shot. Gamble stopped it. They bang away at it, and Gamble will cover up. Tell you what, you look at the guys gathering in front right now, and the Aeros having all kinds of trouble trying to move out the middle.
Well, they did such a wonderful job in the first period of doing exactly that. The wingers coming back, clearing pucks out, taking them, and making that first pass on the breakup. We have not seen that during the last 5 minutes.
Boy, I'll tell you what, you look at this play here with everybody just banging in there and nobody able to move anybody out. And I'll tell you what, that's where a big number 5 for the Aeros, Kevin Grant, might come in handy. Of course, a little shaken up, and they're going to give him the night off tonight. But come playoff time, he'll be ready to go. And you'd like to get that 6'3" rack in the middle there.
Well, the Aeros playing with 5 defensemen is Curtis Hunt, the team captain, and Kevin Grant sitting behind us. And I still don't see Ted Crowley down on the bench. You're playing with 4 defensemen.
Off the face-off, Rivermen out to puck. Hollinger, worked on by Arneal. Now Hollinger trying to move it down. It's flipped out in front, and Freer went back to get it. Here's Freer, turning in his own zone, and wow, Jake's just about took a penalty right in front of the referee, but he says play on. Robinson, bumped by Dagenet. It's now 3-2, and in half a minute, the Rivermen will be on the power play. Here's Arneal. Base of the left circle, centered. The shot blocked by Sargent, and the Rivermen turn to clear. Pazlowski in his own zone, slips the puck to Terry Hollinger. He'll turn back in his own zone. A long pass to Evans, threw it behind Pazlowski, but he went back to get it. Now Evans trying to bring it ahead. Robinson was there, and now it is Al Conroy. In 13 seconds, Peoria will get a power play for 12. Here's Conroy, a backhander wide of the net. And it carries all the way back at center. Here's Mario Chitteroni now. Chitteroni to Laniel across the line with Conroy. Lets a shot go. It's blocked. Peoria on the power play now for another 10 seconds. They bang away at a puck in behind, and now Dagenet will work it up the boards. Beat clear to center, and here's Ed Courtney. Penalty over. Teams at 5 aside. Courtney in his own zone. Clear to center, but Chitteroni was there, and he'll slide it into the Peoria end. Out of the net, it's Joff Sargent. Rolled it over to Hollinger. It came to the near side for Courtney with 1:10 to go in the period. 3-2 Houston. Now Courtney right side trying to bring it in. Laniel was there to work it away. And now Malamon. A head man pass. Miss Slivchenko. It goes down the ice. Icing indicated as Chapdelaine was there. We take time, or we keep it here, excuse me. 57 seconds to go in the second period. 3-2 Houston.
If that pass was about 4 inches more to the stick side, you could have had a great breakaway situation there for the Aeros, who really need a goal. You got 57 seconds left to face off to the right of Troy Gamble. Win this draw, get down there. Pepper Sargent with a couple of shots on goal, because that fluky goal set the stage for yet another unique type situation. The shot from the point was meant to be not a pass, but a shot that was deflected in by Rene Chapdelaine, and that is something that players work on in practice. Nonetheless, you got yourself a 3-2 game after the Aeros were on cruise control midway through the period, up 3-zip.
Now in the Aero zone, the Aeros have it. Here is Jakes. He'll bring it up and out of the zone for Houston. Jakes a pass for Maurice. 2-line offsides. Face-off comes back into the Aero zone with 48 seconds to go in the second. 3-2 Houston.
And we talk about the playoffs. This is where all the extra work, the extra reps, the extra sets of wallies, end-to-end, the extra reps that you do with Jerome Logan in the weight room starts to pay off. This is what you strive for all year long. You focus on the playoffs. And the Aeros, well, Aaron, what it would be either Las Vegas, possibly Phoenix, outside chance of Milwaukee in round one. Very
well, it could be any of those three. Yeah. It really could just be any of those three. Off the face-off now, and it could be Denver. Denver's not totally out of the picture for the Aeros yet either.
I'd love to get Milwaukee in the first round.
Here is Robinson. He'll chip the puck off the glass and back down into the Peoria zone. It's cleared out to center. Tomlinson hands it over to Eddie Courtney. Courtney in his own end, weaving to center. He got by the Maurice check. He'll bring it across the line, makes the move, but Jake's cleared it. Back down the ice it goes with 23 to go in the period. And icing indicated is the Rivermen are back. Play whistle down. 19 seconds to go in the second. 3-2 Houston.
Adam, I said Milwaukee, even though Milwaukee's got an excellent record, they do not like playing the Aeros. Sure, they've got guys like Cavallini and others, Tony Herkus, who can light it up. But the style of Terry Ruskowski's team, of a team that mucks and really works hard in the corner, has not been easy for Milwaukee to solve.
You know, you look at the standings, the Toyota standings, Las Vegas, because they, you look at their record, they've got 96 points, as did Milwaukee. Actually, if the standings were in order, you would put Las Vegas ahead of Milwaukee only because they have more wins. But the reason we have the graphic the way we do is because Milwaukee, by virtue of winning and clinching the Central Division, they would be automatically seeded second, and right now that would mean the Atlanta Knights. Off the faceoff. Aeros have it. Robinson trying to clear. Came to Arneal. Cleared to the line. Veach held it in for Peoria. 8 seconds to go in the period. Heads up. It's a souvenir for one of the Rivermen. And I'm sure he'll throw it back to somebody in the stands. We're about 10 feet from the bench. Why don't they throw it to me here? No. I got plenty of those. Coming up with the second period intermission. We'll bring you the stats, recap the period, go over the goals, and we will chat with Scott McCrory, who has seen a limited ice here in this second period. He's out there now. McCrory lining up for this face-off right in front of Troy Gamble, and he will be our second period intermission guest. Hey, there you are, babe. And he wanted me to say hi to his wife, who was watching tonight. So, Mrs. McCrory, I haven't met you yet, and you haven't met me. Probably a pretty good thing, but hey, hope you're enjoying tonight's game. Face-off is won by the Aeros. Robinson, with 4 seconds left, steers it out at center, and that is the second period. 40 minutes gone in this hockey game. 3-2 Houston, and we'll be back right after this. Welcome back to the Peoria Civic Center. Adam Gordon along with Barry Warner, a 3-2 hockey game. And we've talked so much about the playoffs, Barry, and the fact that Pete Dineen has been a busy man. And one of the guys he has brought in is Scott McCrory. And Scott, first of all, have you heard anything about Houston yet?
No, all I've heard is it's nice and warm, and it's got a lot of good golf courses to play, the guys are telling me.
Well, I understand you brought your golf club, so I'm sure you're going to enjoy Houston. I got to ask you, though, how's it been in transition? I mean, you come into Indianapolis last night, and all of a sudden you're playing. How's it been for you?
It's been still trying to adjust a little bit right now, but guys are great, and they're helping out. Playing with Mark and Arnie, two great players, so I just got to get in the groove with them right now.
Scott, the scouting report says you're a good passer, but I was just amazed at the touch. Twice, Arneal made a break, and you put the puck right on his stick. Is that just something that is instinctive for a winger?
Yeah, I'm basically a centerman, but I play all three forward positions, and I like to dish off, so I like to hit the far side. That's kind of my game, is hitting someone breaking through, and I usually can feed it through them. To them.
You came over from the Kalamazoo Wings, one of the better teams in the IHL, but yet you come to the Houston Aeros and you're playing with one of the better lines in the IHL with Freer and Arneal. What's it like playing with those guys?
Like I said, it's great playing with both of them have NHL experience, especially Arnie. They know what to do with the puck. They know where you're going to be, and they get open for you when you got the puck. So it's just it might take us a couple more games to get used to it, but I think it's going pretty well right now.
You guys got to tighten things up and refocus on what playoff hockey has to be for period number 3?
Yeah, they got that first goal was kind of a lucky bounce, and the second one, I think it went off of Mark's foot, unfortunately, but we've been on top of them the whole game, so we just got to tighten down and do the same system we were doing the first 2 periods, and hopefully if we do it, we should come out with 2 points today.
Scott, thanks for your time and good luck in Houston.
Thanks, appreciate it.
All right, Scott McCrory joining us in the second period intermission. It's a 3-2 hockey game, and we'll have more from Peoria right after this. Welcome back to the Peoria Civic Center. Adam Gordon, Barry Warner, 3-2 hockey game here in this second period intermission. What a difference a period makes. You know, the Aeros go up 3-0, and I'm thinking, okay, maybe they've got this thing in the bag, and it almost seemed like maybe that's what they thought, because you can't do that against a 112-point team of Peoria Rivermen.
No, one fluke goal there by Pot Fan, laying outstretched with 2 Aeros around him. Then the second goal on the deflection. But what the Aeros have got to do, they got to get anything in a white jersey out of that cage area.
Let's take a look at the scoring summary brought to you by Columbia HCA Healthcare Corporation. Aeros made it 2-0 on Todd Harkins, his 27th of the year at 8:16. Maurice and Townsend getting the assist, so Harkins with a goal and assist, as well as Graham Townsend. Aeros made it 3-0 on a turnover. Mario Chitteroni unassisted. He got an unassisted goal last night in Indianapolis, and he get another unassisted power play goal here at 13:49, 3-0 Aeros. But here come the Rivermen. Patve first as a Riverman at 14:39 from Pazlowski and batters, and then it was made 3-2. Rennie Chapdelaine, third of the year at 17:04 from Greg Pazlowski and Doug Evans, and that's how we find ourselves 3-2 after 2 periods of play. And with that in mind, hey, let's take time out for good health. Back inside the Peoria Civic Center, Adam Gordon, Barry Warner, 3-2 hockey game. The Aeros lead it, and you know, you look at things the way things have gone. Again, Joff Sargent seems to be doing the job in the net. Troy Gamble, I don't know if you can fault him for those two that he let in.
A couple of freaky goals. The Potvin goal, that's not going to happen again, Adam, in another 100 games. As far as the second goal, that happens because players practice the deflection.
Let's take a look at the highlights. They're brought to you by Toyota. And the Aeros, they would get another goal in this hockey game, and it is again Todd Harkins, who had an assist on the Graham Townsend goal this time, right out in front, and he gives the Aeros a 2-0 lead. That was a nice goal.
Yeah, Maurice, great job there of using his hands with a nice backhand pass to Harkins.
But the Aeros were not done. Watch the turnover coming up by goaltender Joff Sargent, and Mario Chitteroni for the second straight night gets an unassisted goal off a turnover, and he gives the Aeros a 3-0 lead. But at this point, you think maybe the Aeros laid back a little bit? It's hard to say.
Well, there's Chitteroni and Conroy behind the cage, and all of a sudden Potvin reaches that stick out and just wraps it right around and in. Gamble never saw it.
And that made it 3-1, and then 3-2, the deflection by Rennie Chapdelaine. Puck goes right off his stick. I'm not so sure Gamble could have stopped that one. It's hard to say. That's a pretty good shot and a pretty good goal.
2 goals, though, within 3 minutes of play. And once again, the Aeros have got to refocus and do what they did in the first period and 10 minutes of the second. Move the white jerseys out in front of Troy Gamble.
Take a look at the high-low stats of that second period. 10-9. The Aeros were outshot that period. That's 8 saves for Gamble, 7 for Joff Sargent. Both teams 2 penalties for 4 minutes. Aeros are 1 of 2 on the power play. The Peoria Rivermen 0 for 2 on the man advantage. And Barry, quickly, what do you think the Aeros are going to pull off for that third period? Are they going to go hard or are they going to sit back?
No, I think you got to go hard right now. You got a team that scored 112 points. You cannot lose this game because you're playing conservative hockey.
3-2 the Aeros, and we'll have the third period for you right after this. Welcome back to the Peoria Civic Center. Great crowd tonight. I believe it's a sold out. It holds right around 9,000. For those of you watching on UPN 20, you can see the wide shot there, and it's a great crowd tonight. They don't normally pack them in like this, but considering it's their last regular season game, Peoria Rivermen are near the bottom of the IHL, but they average 57-34 in a building that holds 9. That's not bad, and they love their Rivermen. Of course, they are NHL affiliates for the St. Louis Blues, which is about a 3-hour drive from here, so it makes things a little more easier when you're bringing players back and forth.
Not for long, though, because that affiliation ends at the conclusion of this year. Mike Keenan is going to opt to take that affiliation to the AHL.
I think that's the trend for just about every NHL team. I would be surprised if there's more than 2 affiliations, if any, next year in the IHL. We'll see. As the puck shot down and icing the call on Peoria, I think you'll find that a lot of teams now want to become more independent. Now we're getting a little pushing and shoving here.
McCrory and Johnson having a couple of words. The linesman trying to separate them. Then Rob Robinson and Renee Chapdelaine.
Well, everything cools down here, and we've got 22 seconds gone in the third, and a face-off brought back into the Peoria zone after an icing call. And the Aeros are going to make a line change here. They're going to bring out Conroy, Chitteroni, and Yo. And Scott Arnedo coming off. What a year he's had. He got his career high in goals last night. He got his 36th in Indianapolis. What a goal it was. 36 seconds after Indianapolis had taken the lead. Off the face-off now. Peoria with a puck. It's cleared to center. Jakes turns it around, and now it is Chitteroni across the Peoria blue line. He's bumped by Dagenet, and now Rennie Chapdelaine rolled it up the right side. It goes into the Aero zone, rips a shot, and Campbell down and covering up. And now Johnson wants in at Conroy. So Craig Johnson a little upset about something, and he wants somebody in a green sweater. Now he's got Robo as well on his case.
And what Johnson's upset about is that Mike Keenan sent him back down here. But Conroy, even though he's about 5'7", wasting no time getting that glove off.
He won't back down from anybody.
Conroy's a tough kid, really put together well for a small guy.
Well, Face-off will be brought back out of the Aero zone, I'm assuming, and now Conroy's going to go to the box, but I'm sure Craig Johnson will follow, and they'll both pick up 2-minute minors each for roughing, and we will go 4-on-4 hockey for the next 2 minutes. Aeros next action tomorrow from the Rosemont Horizon in Chicago. Former Aeros Clayton Young, Brian Pellerin, Steve Goslin, the rest of the Chicago Wolves as the Aeros wrap up what has been an outstanding 94-95 inaugural IHL season.
And one of the men who came over in that trade, Ted Crowley, I have not seen out this period. Don't have the word on it, but Jerry Mines was looking at the low back and the left hip area as he came off with about 6 minutes to go in the second period.
He just came out of the hallway there and sat down. And he came right out. He sat down on the end of the bench. And I don't know if he'll be back or not. Face off in the circle to the left side of Troy Gamble. And it'll be Harkins against Steve Potvin, who's going to go in this game. And the Aeros win the draw. Gamble comes out of the net. He'll leave the puck now for Mark Laniel, and he'll start the rush from left to right. Laniel, a puck off the left side for Maurice. He'll shovel it ahead, and now it is Valamont weaving up and out of his zone for Harkins across the line, trying to get by Veach. He cuts the angle and now sends it behind the net. Here's Maurice now. Maurice watched by Pazlowski. Maurice still the puck. Looking for Harkins. He swept at it. Fell. Now Valamont sends to Harkins, and he waited forever and never got a good shot away. He waited and waited and never got the good shot away, and he was pounded by Hollinger. And whistle stops play with 18:55 to go in the third, and a 3-2 Houston lead.
Harkins got his skates tangled down there at the opposite end, but that puck just flying around and batted down out of midair.
So he waited, I think, about a second too long.
Yeah.
I think he wanted to see Sargent commit himself, and I don't think Joff Sargent was going to do that. He was just going to wait.
No, Sargent waited him out, and there was no one driving to the net.
Freer and Arneal with Valamont and Laniel. Houston 3, Peoria 2. We played a little over a minute here in this third period. Freer against Glenn Mulvena of the Peoria Rivermen. Top of the puck, Mulvena wins the draw. Back is Jeff Batters in his own zone. Batters drifting behind the net. He'll start the rush from right to left. Batters playing peekaboo with Arneal. He'll cut to his left, skating up the left wing. Now hands it back to Martin Hammerlick. Hammerlick moves it out at center for Mulvena, but it's taken back by Carl Valamont. He'll shoot it ahead for Arneal. Bank it ahead for Freer across the line. He's got Laniel in front, couldn't get it to him. And here is Glenn Mulvena. A pass to Martin Hammerlick. He'll charge at center ice with Ed Courtney. Here's the pass for Courtney across the line, and then he was just belted by Carl Valamont. Wow, big hit there. He went flying. Steve Miller Band, Fly Like an Eagle, baby. I think that's the song that was ringing through his head after he hit the ice. Here's Mulvena across the line. Getting set. Dropped it. Hammerlick looks for the shot. Lets it fly. It was blocked. Arneal now steers it over to Mark Laniel. And he'll get this center. Laniel across the line with Freer and McCrory. Here's Laniel. Gives it to Jakes. He's right in on goal. The shot is blocked by Doug Evans. Courtney chipped it off the boards. Jakes couldn't hold it in. Doug Evans skates it out at center away from McCrory, then sends it back into his own end. Now Evans turns back up ice. Evans down the right side and across the Aero line. He tried to center. It was blocked by Robinson. And out is Chitteroni to center ice. Mario and across the line. Mario dropped it. McCrory right in. Shoots. He scores! Scott McCrory between the legs of Joff Sargent, and the Aeros have a 4-2 lead.
McCrory gets the goal, and a great job there as he goes to the 5-hole and gets that goal wearing an Aero uniform. His first goal. But Chitteroni just does a marvelous job as the Aeros get the puck. Here's Mario, and he'll just drop the pass back there, knows exactly where his teammate is, and right through the 5-hole is Sargent, who was the best goalie last year in the IHL. Goes down, but still McCrory with that fast shot along the ice makes it a 4-2 game.
Now off the face-off, Aeros have the puck in a 2-block lead at 4-2. Pazlowski, a pass, knocked free. Johnson had his stick held by Graham Townsend. A play going on. Now the Aeros in their own zone. Jakes can't clear. Here's Pazlowski cutting right in on goal. Couldn't center it though. Pazlowski, base of the right circle. Send it over along the boards. It was chipped away by Townsend. Cleared to the line, and here comes Harkins. He'll shoot it into the Peoria zone. Back is Darren Veach. For Craig Johnson. Rumps to center for Doug Evans. Dropped it back. Johnson right in, lost the puck. Aeros turn, they can't clear. Crowley back out on the ice. That's a good sign. Out there defensively for the Aeros. Here is Johnson's stuff shot. Blocked by Crowley. Now the puck pushed around the corner for Pazlowski. He sends it in front of his block, and the Aeros come to center ice. Here is Maurice. He's got a couple of guys to beat, though. Maurice dumps it in, and he'll come off to the line change. 3.5 gone in the third. 4-2 Houston. Here is a pass. Center ice. Steve Potvin in across the Aero blue line. Dropped it right side. Batter shoots. And he ripped it wide of the net, and it'll go all the way down the ice. Now Sargent comes out of the net, and he'll flip it behind his own net over to Rennie Chapdelaine. It'll go to center ice by Jeff Batters. And now Laniel at his own blue line for Houston. Pass for McCrory. Tipped it into the Peoria zone. Out of the net, Sargent. He'll leave it for Batters. Freer gives him a bump along the boards. Now McCrory behind the net. He's pounded into the end wall. And here is Rennie Chapdelaine. Chapdelaine at center ice. Shoots the puck in. Blocked by Laniel. Cleared to center. Martin Hammerlich. Rolled it into the Aero zone, and here is Mike Yeo now. Yeo left side, center ice, Freer. Mark Freer just dumps the puck in, and then he's given a rough ride along the boards with 4.5 down in the third. 4-2 Houston. Mulvena, center ice for Peoria. He'll shoot the puck into the Aero zone. Got by Valamon on the check, but Robinson cleared to the line out at center, but Dagenet shoots it into the Aero end. Out of the net, Troy Gamble. Here is Carl Valamont now. He'll hard rim off the glass, came out at center, knocked down by Mike Dagenet. Dagenet shoots it into the Aero zone, and Carl Valamont is there. To Robinson. Robinson out to center for Harkins, bumped by Hammerlich. They battle along the boards. Now back are the Rivermen. Dagenet to center for Hoover. It goes into the Aero zone. Robinson hustles fast. He's belted by Courtney. Now rolled along the boards. Maurice turns in his own end. He's given a hard check by Ron Hoover. Now it is Townsend. He'll chip it down the ice. Icing indicated will have enough to get across the line. No. They wave off icing. Play goes on. Darren Veach for Peoria. Pass center ice. Courtney trying to move it in. Laniel was there, and he'll blast it back into the Peoria zone. 4-2 Houston. 14.5 to go in this hockey game. Evans couldn't clear the zone. Jakes rode it off the puck. Now pass at center, and it goes awry. Sails into the Aero zone. Hustling back is Jakes. He's there, and he will turn with the puck. Jakes for Houston. Off the boards. It came down the ice. This will be icing as the Rivermen go back. We take time out. 4-2 Houston. 6 minutes gone in the third. We will be right back. It's a 4-2 hockey game. The Aeros lead it. 14:07 to go here in the third period. And a face-off to the right of Troy Gamble.
Remember, 629 3700. Mark Shane Brown, Cindy Bryce, and other members of the Aeros staff waiting to take your playoff order for the 1995 Aero playoffs.
Face off to the right of Troy Gamble, and Jakes has got it. Jakes in behind his net, rolled it to Yeo, couldn't clear, but it came up the left side, and now Jakes smoking down the left side. Sends the puck to Conroy, shoots, ripped it wide, rebound. Chitteroni sends it in front, overskated by Yeo, and back down the ice it goes. 4-2 Houston. Robinson watched by Evans. Robinson in the corner, blasted along the boards. It came to the line. I thought I was offside. It was. There we go. The 13:40 to play in the third, and a 4-2 Houston lead.
And after the game, the team hops on the bus and goes to Chicago, where they'll get some rest and play tomorrow night in the regular season. Good look at Mike Yeo, who made his presence felt early in the game with an assist on the Graham Townsend goal. Yeo lost about 6 or 7 pounds, and he had the flu last week, but he's playoff ready.
Battle lines have been drawn, and the enemy is near, folks. Be there for the Aeros assault on the 95 Turner Cup. 7-game packages are available for less than $50. In fact, they're available right now. Get on the phone and call 627-AERO. The operators are standing by. Face off at center ice. 4-2 hockey game. Freer against... Face-off Freer against Kirk Tomlinson. The puck goes down into the Aero zone. Now Now the Aeros turn. It's clear to the line out at center. No, it was held in by the Rivermen, and it's back out at center. Now it is played by the Aeros and cleared to center. Tomlinson brings it ahead, and now it's picked up in a backhander going just wide by Steve Potvin. Down to the near side, Hammerlich trying to move it along the boards. It goes behind the net, and it's belted wide. Here's the puck now, controlled by the Rivermen. Rennie Chapdelaine sends it back to Tomlinson. It's fired back in front, and now cleared to the line and out at center ice. Aeros after it. Here is Jeff Batters in his own zone, watched by Arneal. Batters right side, shoots it into the Aero zone. Aeros go back, icing indicated as Houston will play it. And there is Jakes in play as whistled down.
12:42 to go. The Aeros up 4-2. The goal this period from McCrory, who just came over in the last-minute deal made by Aeros Director of Player Personnel, Pete Dineen. The Aeros dressing tonight 5 defensemen. Sitting behind us, the team captain, Curtis Hunt and Kevin Grant. As they are enjoying the game, I'm sitting next to him, Doug Mitchell from the Houston Post making the trip.
Face off to the right.
Both have their game faces on as they prepare for the playoffs.
Face off to the right of Josh Sargent, Harkins, Maurice, and Townsend. Drop of the puck. And the Rivermen have got it. Darren Beach now. He'll move it up and out of his zone. Beach at center. He'll rip it into Aero territory. Gamble slows behind the net. Rolled it to the near corner. Townsend hangs it to the line, not out. Held in by Dagenet. 12:25 to go. And Harkins tips a puck at center. This will go down the ice. This is icing, and we will take another timeout. 4-2 Houston. We'll have more IHL action right after this. Play the Chicago Cubs May 2nd on UPN 20. Now the puck in the corner in the Aero zone. They lead it 4-2. Yo cleared to the line, not out. Batters held it in. Second effort though by Chitteroni, cleared it. Now Houston turning at center. Conroy bumped by Evans. Maslowski lost the handle, and now Chitteroni across the line, but he had it swept away by Terry Hollinger. Chitteroni trying to move it along the boards. Yo's in there as well. He moves it along the wall, but finally it's cleared to center ice by Craig Johnson. Back go the Aeros. Carl Valamont galloping in his own zone. Valamont works it off the boards, and it's back down to the Peoria, and Batters snapped it to center. Valamont is there with 11:45 to go in the third. Houston leading it 4-2. Jeff Batters for Peoria. A pass. Johnson across the line. Backhander. He flung it just wide of the net. Now Chitteroni trying to get it out at center. It's down into the Peoria zone. Jeff Batters in his zone, and he'll turn a puck to the right side. Miss Paslowski. This will be an icing call if the Aeros can get there, and they will. Jakes there to touch and play, whistle down. You know, Barry Warner, 80 games have gone by after tonight. It all comes down to the final game tomorrow as far as the regular season goes. And, you know, a lot of times when you go through 80 games, you're just sitting there going, gosh, I can't wait for the playoffs. I can't wait for the season to end. But you know what? I think the way this year has gone, it's actually a touch of sadness.
Well, it has been such a wonderful season. It has absolutely blown away anyone's expectations. We thought this year, heck, 7,500, that would be a good number to shoot for. And we go almost 12,000 in attendance.
By the way, stay tuned through the postgame show, because when we sign off tonight, Aaron Silverman of UPN 20 and myself, we don't have much of a life, so we put together a little team video on our spare time, what little we had, and we're going to close the broadcast with that tonight.
Speak
we'd like
for
you to
yourself. Rennie's got a heck of a life with a wife and 2 kids.
I know. I probably should have dragged him in there. His wife's probably going to kill him thinking he told me to say that. He didn't. It was me. I meant I had no life. We spent probably close to a good 20 hours putting this thing together. So please stay with us at the end of the broadcast. Take a look at this thing. Puck is back in the Aero zone. And Houston trying to clear as Arneal's just unloaded on by Kirk Tomlinson. Robinson charging across the line. Robinson for Houston. And wow! He was knocked head over heels and just unloaded on like yesterday's trash. And now everybody getting into it. Wow.
Hammerlich just gave him the old hip check.
That was what you call a hammer from Martin Hammerlich. He drilled him like a Black & Decker, big time along the wall.
And Robbie just laughed when he noticed the size of Hammerlich.
who's 5'11", 176, former All-Star in Czechoslovakia. Robo comes down and
a little bit of a trip, maybe.
Oh, little trip there.
Wow. Oh, there's the call. Now he's going to the box. I was wondering if we were going to get a call there. He got the stick in there. For me, I thought Robo was a roulette wheel. I was gonna bet 10 black on his skate. He went around and around.
Well, from the angle we saw it initially, we did not see anything other than just the hip. But as usual, our UPN 20 crew getting the picture that shows. And Terry, come on, smile, man. One more game, 10 minutes and 31 seconds, and it's the playoffs, Roscoe.
And now Yalta Conference at center is Maurice, Harkins, and Conroy discussing what they want to do on the power play. Laniel and Crowley defensively. And they'll line up at center for the base.
Interesting here, one of the reasons why Pete Dineen brought Laniel in. He does an excellent job quarterbacking a power play, and you got Harkins who can play down in the slot.
Peoria, they win the draw, and they'll shoot it down into the Aeros zone. Here is Harkins back. Now Ted Crowley will take it in behind the net. He will move it up ice. Ted Crowley. For the Houston Aeros, a pass to the left side. Mark Laniel shoots it in. Sargent knocked it down, and he will clear it himself, but not out. Here's a puck to the near side. Chip to the line. Conroy held it in. Mark Laniel wrapped it back to Conroy. Now Laniel lets the shot go. It was blocked. Another shot. Whistled just wide. Now behind the net, Maurice fishing for it. He's got it. Mike Maurice as the goaltender. Geoff Sargent's lost his stick, so now the defenseman, Martin Hammerlich, hands it to him. Here's a pass. Conroy shooting. It was blocked. Conroy again's got the puck. He'll turn along the boards. Clear to the line. Ted Crowley. He will give it to Laniel. He will wind. He will shoot. He will whip it wide of the net. Still, Sargent without his stick. Here is Laniel. And now we've got Sargent going after Harkins. I think Houston might get a two-man advantage because Harkins was cross-checked in there anyway, tried to get out of there, and then Geoff Sargent gave him the old two-hander behind, and Houston should get a two-man advantage.
Gave him a two-hander behind, and he gave him a straight arm with the glove hand right to the face of Todd Harkins.
It's 4-2 Houston. Now Sargent will change sticks and say, that one's yours, this one's mine.
A little easier to play with that big piece of wood there.
No wonder he lost his stick. It was broken. He got rid of it. You know, it's illegal. You cannot play with a broken stick.
Now, how are they whistling Harkins off?
Well, they can make it even here. I mean, Harkins was in there.
Yeah, but he was pushed into the crease.
Yeah, but he took a swing at. He took a swing. I agree with you, Barry. I think Houston should get a two-man advantage, but I think Harkins should get two, and then you got Sargent maybe with four, but I don't think you're going to see that. And we're waiting for the call, and I think that's what it's going to be. It'll stay 5-on-4 for Houston.
Sargent gets one also.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Stay 5-on-4. 1:03 left in the Kirk Tomlinson minor. Face off to the right of Geoff Sargent.
Brandon Arneal's dad, Scott Arneal. What a phenomenal job Scott has done this year. Not just playing, but also helping with the coaching with Terry Ruskowski, Dave Tippett. And he is the man who gets in there. The practice may start at 10:30, but about 7:30, Scott's there, a cup of coffee and the video, and he starts breaking down the film and does the scouting report, and that's just all part of being an assistant coach here for Scott Arneal, former Boston Bruin, Winnipeg Jet, and Buffalo Sabre.
Face off to the right of Geoff Sargent. 9:34 left in the third. Houston leads at 4-2. Freer to take the draw against Craig Johnson. Drop of the puck, and the Aeros have got it. Here is Carl Valimar. Down to the slot. Lugs it down for Freer. Freer trying to motor it out in front. It was popped away by Jeff Batters. Aeros, McCrory, and Arneal are in there, and finally the puck frozen and play whistled out. 9:20 to go in the third. 4-2 Houston.
McCrory making his presence felt as he gets on the line with Arneal and Freer, getting the goal, his first as a Houston Aero. That went through the pads of Geoff Sargent. And I was glad to see McCrory, yet another one of the golfers who brings his clubs, wants to come to Houston. Well, wouldn't it be something, by the way, if Ben Crenshaw wins the Masters? Crenshaw, Steve Elkington, who's been to some of our Aero games, and they'll be in the field at the Shell Houston Open later on in the month.
Well, I've got my rooting cap on for a couple others right now, but that would be something pretty good.
I'm not watching the Masters this year. It's my protest against firing Gary McCord for the bikini wax line.
Here is Carl Valamont. He'll slide it down for Freer. Cut behind the net. Now it is Arneal. Scotty Arneal looks for the pass. Instead, it was taken away by Doug Evans. And he will rip a shot. That's deflected by Valamont. Heads up. Get out of the way of that one. That one went firing into the stands, and the fans weren't paying attention over there, but I think they got out of the way. That was deflected away. And Mark Laniel, one of the new Aeros that looks like he's going to be a fine acquisition to that blue line. He has shown some sparks of speed tonight on the blue line and moving the puck out, and that's exactly what the doctor ordered for Houston.
Well, he's excellent at moving the puck out of the zone, which is what the Aeros need. Did a nice job in the power play, and he, like Valamont, excels at setting people up, moving the puck out of the zone and helping that breakout, which is so important.
Off the face-off now. At center, a loose puck in a scrum. And it's fished out by the Rivermen. Mike Dagenet. It's 4-2 Houston with under 9 minutes to go in the third. Aeros have 20 seconds left on the power play. Gamble slows the puck behind the net. Here is Carl Valamont. He'll skate it from left to right. Valamont at center. He'll jam it into the Peoria zone. It was blocked, and ouch, Doug Evans took that. Oh man, that hurts.
Probably got that in the side of the foot.
Ugh. Skates have zero padding. I mean, they got the hard leather, and it's like a tight fit around your foot. There's really no padding, and when you take a puck off your foot, you might as well take it barefoot. It's not any better.
Now, what you end up doing is having purple feet from now until about the time that the 4th of July comes around. That is a stinger, folks, and believe me, it is painful.
Still trying to take a look at him. And
oh!
All right, well, he'll come off. Look at that.
He'll feel that till Tuesday.
Yeah. The thing about it is he could probably play, but then once you take the skate off, that thing's going to swell up. That's what you're afraid of.
Get him out, put some ice on it right away as the team captain goes off. I mean, limps off.
Chitteroni with Slivchenko. Neo with Jakes and Robinson.
Aero's doing a really good job shutting down Paslowski, Batters, Veitch. Keeping those guys from scoring, and Doug Evans.
Puck goes into the Aero zone. They still on the power play for another 4 seconds. Now Robinson turns in his own end. He's hauled down, but play going on. And, well, hold on here. We're going to get a penalty. No, the net became dislodged. And a face-off to the left of Troy Gamble.
Shots on goal, Houston 28-19 for the Rivermen, and Troy Gamble's been tested probably about 3 times tonight.
Yeah. 2 of them went in.
those weren't tests.
No, I don't at all. I don't all blame Troy Gamble for those. The first one, I think he had no idea where the puck was coming from, and then of course the deflected shot. And he's played well, and it's good to see Troy Gamble back. You want a good Troy Gamble and a good Rob Dobson ready for the playoffs.
Dobson's got a very important job tonight. He's ordering sandwiches. He's in charge of getting the post-game meal delivered so the guys can eat on the bus going back to Chicago.
Puck centered. Here's the shot blocked. It went just wide. Chitteroni turns for Houston. Give it to Conroy. Cleared to the line. And held in by Potvin. Now Jake's in the near corner. At it stripped by Ed Courtney. Courtney base to the left circle. Trying to move it along the board. They came out in front of shot. Swept wide. Puck behind. Potvin trying to center, but it was knocked away. Kirk Tomlinson, right side, wide, shoots, deflected out of play. We'll take a break. Under 8 to go. Don't go away. 4-2 Houston. More IHL action after this. Playoffs are coming up, and the Aeros will be at home for Game 3 of that first round, and it's Friday, April 21st. Their opponent, it's either Denver, Milwaukee, Las Vegas, or Phoenix. How about that? We don't know yet. And I don't have any updated scores around the eye yet. Let me see here. I'm just kind of looking here to see if I can update you real quickly before this face-off. Fort Wayne defeated Cleveland tonight, while Indianapolis lost to Kalamazoo. So now Fort Wayne is tied Indianapolis, and for now that'll do. I think that'll give Fort Wayne that playoff spot because they've got one more game. Atlanta trailing Kansas City 3-2. Milwaukee leading Denver 2-1, but Minnesota leading Las Vegas 2-1. That's the game the Aeros are interested in. There's a shot right on. Gamble stopped it. Now the puck in the corner. It is Mulvena trying to move it along. If that Atlanta score remained the same and the Aeros keep this score the same, that just about give them, it would give them that second spot to themselves, and that would pretty much eliminate Milwaukee as their first round opponent and Denver.
That big ooh and ah went up because Paslowski just got nailed by Mark Laniel.
Now the puck is in the Peoria zone, cleared to the line, not out. Held in by Maurice with 7:22 to go here in this third period. 4-2 Houston. Craig Johnson will start up ice. Bring it into the Aeros zone. Had it popped away by Scott Arneal. He'll roll it into the Peoria Rivermen zone. Now it is Steve Potvin fed on the clearing play. And now Peoria shoots it ahead. It's blocked at center by Jakes. Jakes trying to turn it ahead, but now back is Martin Hammerlich. Hammerlich in his own zone. He'll turn and fire a pass out to the right side for Kirk Tomlinson. Shoot it into the Aeros zone. Gamble comes out. Will flip it along the boards himself. It'll bounce along, and then it's knocked down by a high stick, and that will stop play. 6:45 to go in the third. Houston 4, Peoria 2.
Mark the Magician Freer, Rob Robinson, a former Peoria Riverman. These guys getting ready for the playoffs. A big come-from-behind win last night for Robo and his teammates in the green sweaters, and then tonight jumping off to the 3-0 lead and getting the goal by McCrory, which gave him that insurance. But Adam, you've said many times before, the worst type lead to have in a hockey game is a 2-goal lead. They show they can score twice in a 3-minute span, 10 the second period.
Puck shot into the Aeros zone. Tomlinson and Jakes go at it near side. The Rivermen turn it down low, but Robinson is there for Houston. Give it to Arneal. He'll charge the center ice with Scott McCrory. Arneal across the line. Give it to McCrory. Circles back. Now sends it back for Arneal. Gives to Jakes. The shot by Sargent. And it's cleared by the Rivermen. Center ice Tomlinson. Kicked away by Jakes. And now is Scott McCrory. He's belted by Batters. And now it's center ice. Martin Hammerlich rumbling, bumbling, stumbling to center. And then Arneal was given a rough ride by Rennie Chapdelaine. Here is Conroy. Make it Chitteroni rather. Right side. Shoots it into the Peoria zone. Goes into Peoria territory behind the net. It was cleared and out at center. And Yo is back. 5:50 to play in the third. 4-2. Peoria trailing here. The Aeros really been in control of this hockey game from start to this point. Looked very well. Chitteroni trying to clear a puck. Hollinger knocked it free. Into the corner it goes. Valamont's got him tied up. Now skate to skate in there is Courtney. Comes in, looks for a centering pass. Now lets it fly. That was deflected by Mark Laniel. The Aeros come to center ice. Mario Chitteroni across the line with the O. Chitteroni pulling up. Looks for the pass. Didn't find anyone, and he'll just dump it in and come off in the line change. 5:17 to play here in the third. 4-2 Houston. And here is Mike Maurice in across the line. Looks for the shot. Pulls up. Now lets it fly. It was stopped by Sargent. Into the corner it comes for Darren Beach. And now we've got an arrow tied up with Joff Sargent, who is a Harkins that kind of got his skate tied up in his pads.
Harkins and Sargent again. And that was just accidental. Sargent takes the mask off, has a little laugh about it. But they were all tied up right down there. So he lifts up that leg, and Harkins has got no place to go but down. Wait a minute, that's a good way to break a knee.
Unbelievable. 5:05 to go. Look at that.
Sargent
giving it to Harkins.
They're having a good end. Those two guys know each other rather well because they played together when Hark was up the road 150 some odd miles playing for Chicago.
They're still kind of jawing back and forth. He's off to the left of Joff Sargent. Coming to a close, folks. 5:05 left here, and then 60 more minutes to go. Starting tomorrow against the Chicago Wolves. 94-95 will be over in the regular season. Puck is in the Peoria zone. The Rivermen clear it. Down the ice it goes. Craig Johnson got by the Jake's check, but Gamble comes out to play it. Gamble in behind the net. Flipped it right over, though, and here is Pazlowski. He centered it. It was knocked away. Now Dagenet, the drive. That pinball, that might have hit the post. And it's out at center ice. 4:45 to play here in the third period. 4-2 Houston. That is Kevin Evans. Or Kevin Evans used to play here. Now he's in Kansas City. Here's the puck played by the Aeros. Oh, brother. 80 games. Here is Maurice. He's pounded by Doug Evans. And it's Jeff Batters. Cleared to center. Now along the boards is Laniel getting tied up with Pazlowski. Nice play there. And now Mark Freer comes to center ice. Down the left side and across the line with Arneal. Arneal lets his shot go. Sargent stopped it. And it's turned around by Peoria. Johnson cleared to center to Arneal. He'll turn at his own blue line with 4:06 to play. Shoot it into the Peoria zone. It'll go down to Joff Sargent. Now hands it over to Darren Veach. Veach weaving to center ice. 4-2 in favor of the Houston Aeros. The puck shot into Houston territory. Gamble out of the net. Flipped it along the boards. And Peoria now trying to move it along. Rennie Schaap the lane. Scraped up by Laniel. The Aeros, Valamont pounds it down the ice. This will be an icing call. If Veach can get there, he will, and will take another timeout. 3:39 to go. 4-2 Houston. We'll be back after this. .339 to go in the third period. You know, for a game that doesn't mean much, it's been a pretty good game. The Aeros will be in the Western Conference. To them, it means much. They want the second spot. And this win will almost guarantee it. They need Atlanta to lose, and they will have the second spot in the Central Division. Puck shot down into the Peoria zone. Here is Darren Veach. Veach turns, lobbed one out at center. Out is Ron Hoover across the line. Hoover pulls up, centered one. It came in. Hollinger trying to fight off a check. Hollinger, left side. It's centered again. Gamble may have kicked that one out of there. Hollinger returns another shot, and that is blocked, and the Aeros have a 2-on-1, and they hustle. It is Chitteroni across the line with Yo. Chitteroni winds, fakes, and then pass blocked by Darren Veach. And then Chitteroni tries to pop it away, and play is whistled down.
Nice job by Darren Veach there, because Chitteroni wanted to feather the pass cross ice. He faked a big shot, and Veach just was not going to be fooled. That's what happens when you've got 35 years of age next to your birth certificate and you've been playing in the pros since you were 20.
Well, folks, the battle lines have been drawn and the enemy is near. You need to be there for the Aeros assault on the 95 Turner Cup. 7-game playoff packages are now available for less than $50. You can enjoy the same seats throughout the playoffs and go to the top of the priority list for 95-96 season tickets. For more information, call 627-AERO. Do it now. Everybody's standing by at the Aeros office waiting for your call. 627-AERO. Quick shot off the face-off from Harkins, goes wide of the net. We're going to try and talk with Todd Harkins after tonight's hockey game. About a little bit of time, I think. Get his thoughts on things heading into the playoffs, and he's played well in his last couple of games. Now he pops a guy along the boards, and Tomlinson comes in and belts Harkins, and I have a feeling things are going to heat up here as now he's got a couple of guys working him over. As a shot right on, blocked by Sargent, and out is picked up by Peoria. With 2.5 to go, Potvin has it. And the puck shot in by the Rivermen. Here is Rennie Schaap the lane. He tries to find Tomlinson. He and Harkins go at it. They're going to fight. Where are they? Tomlinson wants him. Harkins hasn't dropped the mitts. And I think Tomlinson may get a minor. Something has upset Kirk Tomlinson.
Well, what's upset Tomlinson is he's had very little ice time, and his team is down 4-2. He provoked that when he was down on the ice. It was 2-on-1. He tried kicking Harkins, and then he was trying to jab him as they came up ice behind the play. Hooked him, tried to slash him, and Hark just laughed. Hark at times looks like a big teddy bear when he just turns and gives you that grin.
Into the box goes Harkins. Into the box goes Kirk Tomlinson with 2:26 to go here in the third. And you're talking about what went on along the boards. And see, Harkins kind of nails Potvin a little bit from behind, not much, but then Tomlinson comes in to finish him off, and then here's one for you. Here's another one. Give it to him. Here, take this right there. And Harkins may have taken a little exception to it, and I don't know, something that upset Tomlinson.
Adam, I'm going to go out on a limb, but as we take a look at Todd Harkins across the way in the penalty box, he to me has got the most natural talent of any one of the young players that the Aeros have. He's got an opportunity, if he works hard during the offseason with the God-given ability that he's got, to be an all-star type player. He's got tremendous hands. I mean, you're talking about a guy who's 6'3" and 220. That's defenseman size, but he's got the speed and excellent hands and a very talented athlete. And you may dispute me, Adam, and it won't be the first time, but the kid is blessed with talent.
Well, he's shown it. I'll tell you what, when he gets it going, he's going to be a fine help for the Aeros in the playoffs. Puck is in the Aeros zone. Freer will turn it up the left side. Now here is a puck controlled by Doug Evans. Evans turns with the shot, deflected wide of the net. It'll come to the near side. This game's far from over. Peoria can get a quick goal here, and then all of a sudden it's a one-goal game. Peoria they do have the guns. Doug Evans, a pass. Just missing Paslowski. Houston goes back. Rob Robinson in the corner. He's just unloaded on by Doug Evans. Now into the near side. The puck came out in front, but Arneal's got it. And he'll skate to center. Arneal and across the line. Here's Arneal cutting in, makes the move, turns, can't get a shot away. Arneal, left wing. Trying to center a pass. It was not free. Aeros trying to move in there. Here is Conroy, and then pushed away. Valmont was pinching. And now it is Terry Hollinger. He'll fire the puck all the way down into the Aero zone. No icing. He said Chitteroni played it. Chitteroni goes back to haul it in, and he'll play it from behind the net. Now he'll leave it for Valmont. Says, hey, you're the defenseman. This is your job. Forward. Now, puck to center ice. Here's a nice pass. Chitteroni right in. Ripped the shot, but Dagenet got back to deflect it away. Now Batters worked it over to the right side with 1:05 to go in the hockey game. 4-2 Houston. Puck shot in. Sargent stays into the game for now. I don't think they're going to pull him here. Now they are. He'll come to the bench. Extra attacker on for Peoria as Paslowski comes on. Now it's turned by the Aeros. They've got an empty net to shoot at. Here's the drive by Dagenet, and Campbell down to make a nice save on it. Here's the puck along the boards. Conroy couldn't clear it. It came down low with 43 to go in this hockey game. Good hit along the wall. Here is Steve Potvin trying to get it out in front. Aeros turn, and it was popped away by Chitteroni. Couldn't clear, though. It was held in by Dagenet. Now Laniel, puck on edge, tried to clear it. We're going to get a penalty here in this third period late, and the shot goes wide. Now Ed Courtney turns back to the line with 23. Puck finally played by Conroy, and it's going to be a slash to Houston. So it's going to be a 6-on-4 power play for the Peoria Rivermen, because they'll keep the face-off in the Aero zone, and they'll keep Joff Sargent off for the extra attacker.
Conroy thought that he got away with one there. That was not the case. As you said, it's 6 against 4. Now Sargent will come back.
Well, I don't know why they're bringing him in. They must, the face-off's at the top of the, right into the blue line there. So they may say, hey, let's bring him back in. I don't know why. Peoria hasn't done that bad on the face-offs. Only 21.5 seconds to go. Terry Wiskowski wants to know what's going on. Oh, I think he's upset that Peoria put in a last line change, maybe. Peoria gets last line change, but they may have snuck in another one. I don't know what the discussion is right now. Doug Evans is down there talking to one of the linesmen. I don't know if it's where the face-off is or what, but they've got Joff Sargent back in. Goal. Drop of the puck. And the Rivermen have it. Here's Darren Beach. Looks for the shot. It was blocked. Now Sargent comes to the bench. Here is Beach weaving in a shot. Gamble stopped it. It was resting right on the goalpost. And there's 11 seconds to go.
Good job by Rob Robinson there deflecting that puck. And Troy Gamble, who has been very solid tonight.
Yeah, he's played a classic Troy Gamble game, and again, we reiterate, it's great to see him playing like this for the playoffs.
Beach coming in and just coming out to cut it off is Troy Gamble.
I guess the question is, who starts tomorrow? Gamble or is Thompson ready? If Thompson's ready, he'll start tomorrow, but I don't know. The question will be asked, I'm sure, tomorrow morning. Here is Darren Beach. The shot whistled wide, and that'll do it. The Aeros will turn, and they will clear it down the ice, and this hockey game is over. The Aeros, a very impressive win by a score of 4-2 as the horn sounds. So the Aeros split the season series, 1 win apiece. They win here in Peoria after losing 2-1 in the shootout. So actually, you can almost say the Aeros win this season series when you consider the fact that they get that extra point in the shootout. They get 3 points while Peoria got 2 in the series, but that means nothing. What means is what's important is what you see in your monitor for those of you watching on UPN 20. That's Troy Gamble coming off after playing a very strong hockey game.
And what's also important, too, is the fact that Townsend and Crowley, who were both injured, came back and played in the third period.
We'll return with more. 4-2 Houston. We'll be back after this. All right. Welcome back to the Peoria Civic Center. A final 4-2. The Aeros defeat the Peoria Rivermen. Adam Gordon along with Barry Warner, and standing by, in my mind, maybe the Aeros player of the game, Todd Harkins. And I got to tell you, Hark, last 2 or 3 games, we have really seen the true Todd Harkins. You've been banging, you've been crashing, you've been scoring. Do you feel it starting to come together for playoff time?
Yeah, that's one thing that the whole team wanted to do here these last couple games is go out there and take the body and take control of the game right away, because one thing we're going to be doing in the playoffs is playing a lot of road hockey, and coming in here and beating one of the best teams in the league. It proves that we're starting to do that right now.
Hark, how important was it last week when Jeff Fisher, the Oilers coach, came into the locker room and personally walked up and talked to you and told you about what athleticism you've got and what kind of a player you could be?
Oh, it makes a kid feel proud when a guy like of his status comes in and talks to you and tells you what kind of athlete you are, and it makes you feel good and gives you a lot of confidence, even though it's football to hockey. But one thing is, I got a lot of football in my family, and it feels good to have a guy like that come up and talk to you.
Hey, is Troy Gamble back? I mean, what a game he played tonight. I thought he played well last night. Is he ready for the playoffs?
Well, yeah, I think one thing is Troy was injured there, and he's stayed confident throughout his injury, and now he's back and he's playing well. And that's one thing you're going to need to go far in the playoffs is a hot goaltender, and I think we got it right now.
Hark, I know you're looking forward to tomorrow against your former team, the Chicago Wolves. Thank you and best of luck.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, Todd Harkins joins us here, and it's time for the Southwest Airlines Just Plain Smart play of the game. And it was our second period intermission guest, Scott McCrory.
Yeah, nice drop pass by Chitteroni, and he just lets it fly low, fakes the glove side, and it goes right to the 5-hole behind a very startled Jeff Sargent.
And that is the only goal to talk about in the Columbia HCA scoring summary. McCrory is first as a Houston Aero at 234. Mario Chitteroni and Steve Jakes getting the assist. So 4-2 the final. We'll wrap things up next right after this. 4-2 the final. The Aeros defeat the Peoria Rivermen, and they'll wrap things up tomorrow against the Chicago Wolves. Take a look at the stats in this hockey game. The James Coney Island final stats, 33-24. The Aeros outshoot the Peoria Rivermen. Power plays, 1 of 6 for the Aeros. The Rivermen 0 for 6. So the Aeros in their last 6 games have allowed only 1 power play goal. Outstanding penalty killing. Well, like I talked about, folks, it has been my pleasure, along with Barry Warner, to bring you the games on UPN 20 this season. It has been a lot of fun. We hope to see you in the playoffs, but it's kind of sad to see things kind of end for the inaugural season. So Aaron Silberman of UPN 20 and myself got together, and we put together a little piece, and we say goodnight with the exercise in self-indulgence. Good night, everybody. Townsend with a chance to win it. Townsend across the line, in on goal. Wade shoots, scores! Graham Townsend, Aeros win in a shootout, 3-2. Oh my!
Okay, let's do it.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Houston Ace.